Hello everyone, in this video we will be seeing movie 7 of What If Naruto Had Ultra Instinct, so be sure to stick around until the end. Let's get started. One word can be used to describe Konoha right now: chaos. Dead bodies were everywhere, the village was completely destroyed, all caused by one man who claimed to be a god. Amongst those bodies were two well-known people in the village: Shizune Kato, who had her soul ripped out by the human path after she refused to give up Naruto's location, despite her not even knowing. The second one was Iruka Umino, who died after he was stabbed by the Deva path for the same reason. Tsunade Senju was using up all of her chakra to keep everybody alive. Pain was about to attack again when a large puff of smoke came from the middle of the crater where Konoha once stood. The entire Rookie 11, Anko, Asuma, Guy and Tsunade stared at the area the smoke came from, and Hinata activated her Byakugan. "It's Naruto," she said happily since her teammate returned to the village. "What is he doing?" Sakura asked. "He's waiting for the enemies to arrive. He's on his summons, but some of them are huge." She said Tsunade took off to fight along with her grandson despite her being out of chakra. Naruto stood there on top of Virizion, who was next to Bob, and on Bob's right was Shadow, who had his spikes out along his back indicating he's in battle mode. However, up above all of them was Helios, who had a pissed off look on his face. Naruto looked down and saw the 6 paths of pain below him. He jumped off of Viserion and landed on the ground, staring each one of them down. "So you finally come at last, and all it took was me destroying your village and killing some of your loved ones. Do you hate me now? Do you feel pain?" Deva Path asked. "Hate you? No, but I am going to kill you. You don't come into my village destroying it and walk away from it without any problems. You claim to be a god, however you're nothing more than a puppet being controlled from afar," Naruto said before Pain responded. Tsunade dropped in looking worn out and barely able to stand. "Pain, I told you that I would kill you. It's time for you to die for what you did to my village," she said through her heavy breathing. "That's nice, however I'm not here for you," Deva Path said, and the Ashura Path took off towards Tsunade to kill her. "The one I'm after," Deva Path said but was interrupted. "Is me," Naruto said, destroying the Ashura Path with a Senjutsu-powered Rasengan. Naruto looked up and noticed the path farthest in the back started to channel chakra. "That must be the Nakara path. I need to take that one out," he thought, and that's exactly what he did. He phased out of view, leaving an afterimage appearing behind the Nakara path, and destroyed the body with a giant Rasengan powered by Senjutsu as well, and returned to his original spot. Tsunade was amazed at how quickly he took out 2 of the 6 paths. No way, he just took out 2 of the enemies in less than 10 seconds. Hinata said, surprising everybody there since they all struggled against one individually. "Yosh, Naruto's flames of youth are burning brighter than the sun on a hot and youthful summer day," Guy said. "Guy-sensei, I shall get my flames of youth to match Naruto's, and if I cannot I will do 10,000 push-ups, and if I cannot do that I will run 10,000 laps in less than an hour, and if I cannot do that then I shall." He was knocked out by Tenten. "Shut up," she yelled, smacking him upside the head with some type of board she picked up. Back in the fight, Naruto went up to Tsunade and placed a medical seal on her. He put his thumb and went through hand signs. Summoning Jutsu. Scarlet and the Omega brothers appeared. "Scarlet, I need you to take Granny Tsunade away from here. You're a medic fox as well, so can you help her heal the wounded?" Scarlet nodded and picked up Tsunade with one of her tails and gently placed her on her back and took off. Summoning Jutsu, he heard Animal Path say, and out came some giant rhinos, centipedes and giant birds. "Alright guys, you handle the summons while I deal with the real bodies." The dragons and foxes nodded and took off towards the summons. Naruto, still in his sage mode, charged at the 4 remaining paths. The Deva Path held out his hand. Almighty push! Naruto was sent flying back, and before he could regain his composure, the Preta Path caught him in a full Nelson hold, and began draining his chakra. Naruto, realizing what was going on, closed his eyes and released his sage chakra instead, which the Preta Path absorbed. The Preta Path had a smirk on its face, but that soon went away when he started to turn into stone. Once he was completely made of stone, Naruto released one of his clones that barely had any sage chakra, but enough to enter sage mode for a few minutes. He entered sage mode and immediately broke out of the Nelson hold and destroyed the statue with a punch. Universal pull. He was pulled by an invisible force toward the Deva Path, who held out a black rod intending on stabbing Naruto with it, but Naruto released his sage mode and activated his Mangaku Sharingan. Kamui. He turned intangible, and the black rod went right through him. He turned tangible and sent a kick at the path's head from behind, but he simply ducked out of the way, and Naruto was kicked away by the human path. He regained his balance and created a clone to stick around. The clone would need to be his eyes. After this fight, he gave it enough chakra for a Jonin. The clone took off towards the others to hang back. Naruto creates another clone and begins to make a Rasen Shuriken. The jutsu was finished and it was giving off the usual screeching noise. What is that? Hinata asked quietly as she looked at Naruto create the Raisin Shuriken. It's called the Raisin Shuriken. The Naruto clone answered. Naruto, what the fuck are you doing here, numb nuts? You're supposed to be fighting the fucking enemy, Tayuya said and went to slap him but was surprised when her wrist was caught by him. I'm just a clone, Tayuya. He told me to come back here because after this fight he said he will be in darkness and would require eternal light, the clone said. Anko, Tayuya and Tsunade immediately understood. How bad is it? Tsunade asked. 20%. He was lying to you this whole time since he came back. His plan to fight that path that can control gravity relies on using it. He just hopes he can last long enough to fight him off. The clone said. No way he threw it. I've never seen such control over so much chakra before. Hinata said. Wind-style Rasen Shuriken. Naruto threw the jutsu at the 3 remaining paths. They all jumped away since the Deva path hadn't recharged his jutsu yet, so they had no choice other than to do that. But Naruto was expecting this. Explode, he said, and with a pulse of his chakra, the Rasen Shuriken exploded, and the animal path was caught in the explosion, and since it was a fake body and had no chakra network, the body was shredded to pieces. With the animal path gone, the summons went back to the summon world. Naruto, do you require our assistance still? Or can you handle the rest by yourself? Helios asked. I can handle the rest from here, you can leave now, he said, and all of his summons returned home. He stared down at the remaining paths and thought of a plan. I can't use my eyes again yet. I'm going to need them once I fight the Deva path one-on-one to counter his gravity manipulation. I can't use ninjutsu since it will just get blown away, and Jinjutsu is out of the question due to the Rinnegan. I guess Taijutsu and Fuinjutsu it is. He thought his body relaxed, and his Sharingan turned silver. He is completely relaxed now. I guess he has given up. Deva path thought. Your body has relaxed. Does that mean you've given up now? You cannot defeat me. I am pain. I am a god, the second sage of 6 paths. You had no chance. You may have caught me by surprise by taking out my other 4 paths. However, that was luck. Now that your luck has run out, my victory today is inevitable. Deva path said. Why would I give up since my body has relaxed? Nothing is over. I don't rely on luck. I rely on pure skill. You call yourself a god, well then call me the God Slayer because I'm going to put an end to you today. Naruto said, and charged at the Deva and human paths. What is Naruto doing? Hinata asked. What happened? The clone asked. His body just relaxed and he charged in like Kiba would do, she said. Hinata, what color is Naruto's eyes right now? Guy asked seriously. His Sharingan is active but his eyes are silver instead of the red color. She responded. Guy looked at Anko and she just had a smirk on her face. They began to feel an overwhelming pressure throughout the village and Anko spoke up. Guy, I think you know what's going on, she said. Guy only nodded and moved closer to look at the fight, as did everybody else that was able. On the way, Anko passed Iruka's body and froze. He wasn't moving. She didn't know he died. She thought he was outperforming, search and rescue like some ninja were doing. She rolled his body over, and he had a hole in his chest that looked like he bled out from it. She broke down crying, and everybody looked sadly at her. He just proposed to me a few weeks ago. I was so happy my dream came true. Then a few days ago I got the best news any woman could hope for. I'm pregnant. We were going to have a family. He wanted a daughter just like me if we had one. He wanted to name her Akira, and give her my last name. Akira Mitarashi will be her name. You guys can go on. I'll stay here. I want to be alone right now. Anko said. The others left. The Naruto clone stayed back and gave her a hug. It's going to be alright, Anko. We will still be here for you, the clone said. Thank you, Naruto. You can go with the others. I really want to be alone, please, she said. He gave her a kiss on the head and left. She didn't even acknowledge that he left. She just sat there with Iruka's head in her lap. Naruto reaches the paths faster than they thought, and he kicked the Deva path away with so much force he went into the wall of the crater. The human path tried to grab Naruto, but he dodged out of the way. He channeled lightning chakra into his hand. Hammer of the Thunder God. With that, Naruto created the hammer of lightning and smacked the human path away with it, and gave chase. He caught up to the path that just got up and faked a leg sweep, causing the path to jump over it. However, due to the Deva path not being around to see the fight, the human path got hit with a kick to the chin, sending it up in the air. He jumped up and shoved a Rasengan to the gut of the human path, sending it flying to the ground. The human path tried to get up, but a lightning javelin was thrown and pierced right through its head. Naruto landed and looked at the last and final pain that was left. And then there was one. Naruto said, It does not matter. I can always create new paths after I defeat you. Deva path said, Let me ask you something. Why do all of this? Naruto asked. Simple. I seek peace. Peace all over the world. Pain said. So you want to wage war just to cause peace? That makes no sense. You're contradicting yourself. Naruto said, Peace is born through war, like how love is born from hatred. My end goal is to achieve the dream even Jiraiya-sensei couldn't achieve. Pain said, You were trained by Jiraiya? Naruto asked. He was surprised Jiraiya never spoke of him having another student other than his father. Yes, I was. He trained me and 2 other people for 3 years. He told us about his dream of peace throughout the shinobi world. It stuck with us and we all worked to achieve his dream. I seek peace and justice, Pain said. You call attacking my home, destroying my village and killing my friends justice, Naruto said. What about my friends, my family and my village? My village suffered the same fate as yours because of your hidden leaf shinobi. It isn't fair to just let you all talk about peace and justice. I'm returning the favor. The Leaf Village started this. I'm going to be the one to finish it. I have the power of the Sage of Six Paths. I have the power to shape this world by any means necessary, and if I have to wage war to create peace, then so be it. Pain said. Your ideals contradict each other. You called yourself a god earlier, and I'm keeping my word of becoming a god slayer. With that, Naruto and Pain charged in at each other in a taijutsu battle. Naruto, however, had the edge. He was using his sharingan, and on top of him having his ultra instinct that he could dodge the punches and kicks thrown at him by Pain, it was a stalemate due to Naruto not able to attack properly. Almighty push. Kamui. Pain was shocked that his jutsu didn't work, and that cost him. Naruto took this moment of shock and drop-kicked the Deva path away. Why didn't my jutsu work on him? Pain thought he got back up, but Naruto was right in his face and punched him. He managed to get his arms up in time but was still sent flying back. He looked up and saw Naruto coming towards him. Once Naruto was close enough, he called out his jutsu and prepared to stab him with a black rod. Universal pull. Naruto was pulled forward and the black rod was right in front of him, aimed at his stomach. Kamui. He phased through Pain again and then kicked him away. What the hell is going on? How is he doing that? Pain asked himself. I can only use the Kamui 2 more times before the pain in my eyes becomes unbearable. I'll have to rely on my normal sharingan. I can still counter the almighty push, however I don't know if I can counter the universal pull. However, I do have a way to get those black rods out of me. Naruto thought. His thoughts were interrupted when Pain sent a small black ball into the air. Planetary devastation. Next thing Naruto knew, he was being picked up from the ground, as well as some giant boulders and pieces of rubble. He noticed his Hiraishin kunai mark on the ground he placed discreetly at the beginning of the fight and teleported to it. Pain decided to charge at Naruto, and began another taijutsu fight. This had the same results as the last time. He was overwhelmed, and had to use his jutsu again to escape. Almighty push. Kamui. The attack did nothing to Naruto, who overestimated how many times he could use the Kamui again. His eyes were burning so much he deactivated the Mangekyu. He knew he needed his taijutsu to work, so he charged in again. This time he just focused on the fight. He stopped worrying about everything else, and became completely calm. The fight was going well. His attacks were sharper, but he couldn't keep his eyes open. The pain was too much, and he knew it was a risk, but it needed to be done. He closed his eyes. Hinata said, Why the fuck would he do that? Does he want to lose? I haven't let Lee do me in the back door yet. I can't fucking die now, Tayuya said, and everyone just looked at her. What? She asked. Nothing, Tayuya, nothing at all, Ten said. It must be time for the transfer, Anko said, walking up. You doing okay now, Anko? Tsunade asked. Yeah, I'm fine, I just needed a moment. Anyway, his eyes are closed, which means he probably is saving whatever little eyesight he has left. He probably created the clone to guide him somewhere after the fight. Now is his Ultra Instinct active, princess? Anko asked Hinata. Yes, but what does that have to do with anything? Hinata asked. He isn't in any real danger. The only problem is he can't attack, so maybe he closed his eyes to clear his mind and not worry so much and have his body attack properly. And because his eyes are in pain, and it hurts to keep them open since he risks using any techniques again. She said, and everyone nodded at her logic. Anko looked at Guy, who was sitting there with a serious look on his face, as well as Lee, who understood what Naruto was trying to do. I think he will be able to do it. Naruto, your parents would be so proud of how bright your flames are burning right now. Guy thought. Naruto and Pain were trading punches and kicks. Well, that's what it seemed like, but Naruto was dodging everything. Pain was throwing at him, and Pain was taking more damage every time he got hit. Hinata, looking on, noticed this and couldn't help but smile. Anko saw this and smirked. You can do it, Naru-chan, just a bit more and you will achieve something not even the Sage of Six Paths could. She thought as soon as she finished. A huge wave of calm chakra was felt throughout Konoha, and everyone looked and saw Naruto's hair was a completely different color. Naruto, feeling his body take over his movements completely, took one last deep breath, and after that Pain stood no chance. Naruto just moved faster and faster every time he attacked him, but the more his attacking speed increased, so did his attacking power. He was kicked back into the wall of the crater. Naruto let out a yell and a wave of chakra came off of him that everyone felt. He charged at Pain, who barely had time to stand, and punched him in the gut, almost going through him. Before Pain could react, Naruto grabbed him by the back of his head and dragged his face all across the wall of the crater, leaving a line going across it showing the distance he was dragged in the wall. Pain, needing to create some space, created another black rod. However, Naruto grabbed it and stabbed him with it before kicking him away. The others watching this had their jaws on the ground. This wasn't a fight anymore. This was a straight-up ass-kicking being given to the leader of the Akatsuki. Everyone looked at Guy and Lee, who both stood up, and to their shock, they both bowed in respect to Naruto for accomplishing this. I'm a man of my word. I told Naruto 3 years ago at the Chunin exams that if he would master this technique, I would personally bow to him. I am no longer the greatest taijutsu master in Konoha. I pass that title over to Naruto Namikaze, he said, and bowed once more. The respect Guy had before with everybody else just went up. However, he had to ruin the moment. Yosh, I have lost my title. However, my flames are not done burning yet. I shall run 1 million laps, and if I cannot do that, I shall do 1 million push-ups with the Hokage monument on my back if I can't do that. He was shut up by the clone, placing a silencing seal on him. Why didn't you do that earlier? Ten asked. I had to use actual chakra for that seal. I have to be conservative with what I have. The boss needs me for a plan later. The clone answered. Hey, since you're a shadow clone, can you feel things the original would? Sakura asked. Yeah, why? The clone asked. You want to go behind this rubble really quick? I can relieve some of your stress, she said. Seriously, the village was destroyed and you're thinking about getting some dick, the clone said, and she shrugged. Okay, how many injured people have you let stick their dick in you since this happened? The clone asked, and she shrugged again. Get away from me. The clone said the next thing they saw was a huge explosion and the final path defeated on the ground. Naruto was still beating Pain with no remorse. Every time Pain threw a punch, Naruto would hit him with 20. This went on until the Ultra Instinct wore off and Pain was able to kick him away. Naruto's body was in pain and he couldn't really see. He opened his eyes and everything was a blur. He activated his sharingan and it made things a bit better. Pain and Naruto were both worn out. Pain from the beating Naruto just gave him, and Naruto from basically being blind, and the completed technique of Ultra Instinct took a toll on his body. He was fighting himself in pain this entire time. However, they both had the same thought. This is my last attack. They thought. Pain gathered his chakra and Naruto cupped his hands to his side and created a see-through sphere of chakra, and 5 regular-sized Rasengans formed inside. Naruto didn't have to, but he took a running start, and they both called out their final attacks. Almighty push. Orbiting Rasengan. Naruto pushed his hands forward, and his Rasengan made contact with the invisible barrier. Pain was relieved. When an explosion happened, and smoke was around, he knew in 5 seconds he could use his jutsu again. It's over. I win. Pain thought, but to his shock, out of the smoke came the 5 Rasengans that were inside of his jutsu. They made contact with him and exploded on contact. He flew back and hit the ground, no longer moving. It was over. Naruto fell to one knee and his clone appeared next to him. I got you, boss, the clone said, helping him stand. Thanks, he said as he released the 2ND clone from the Dragon World and his Sage Mode activated. He picked up a black rod and stabbed himself with it to find the real body. After 5 seconds he found him. The person looked up in shock. Nagato, what's wrong? Asked a blue-haired woman with amber eyes and a chin piercing wearing the Akatsuki robe. He reverse-tracked me using Sage Mode, Nagato said. Naruto and the clone were about to leave until Naruto made another clone. Stay here and tell them what happened and not to follow us. The clone nodded and he left with the first clone. Just then Tsunade, Anko and Tayuya appeared. Where the fuck is he going now? Tayuya asked. They're going to finish off the real body. He said don't follow him. The clone said. Why would he do that? He's basically blind, Anko asked. That's why he made the other clone before the fight so he can guide him better to the location. The clone said. How long will he be gone? Tsunade asked. Not long, maybe 20 minutes or so. If I were you, I would collect all the bodies and let the civilians out of the bunker. I have a feeling something amazing will happen. With that, the clone went up in smoke, sending the memories back to Naruto, who just reached a fake tree made of paper. He entered, and what the clone saw, because Naruto couldn't see, was a redhead man with the Rinnegan. He was extremely skinny, had multiple black rods sticking out of his back, and was in some kind of machine. Not noticing the woman next to him, the clone spoke. Dude, you mean to tell me it's been a fucking cripple this whole time behind all of this? This sucks. I thought it would be some evil boss, you know, with a cool outfit wearing spikes or something, not this. You're one ugly person, I tell ya, the clone said, and Naruto smacked his head. You will not speak about Nagato like that, show some respect, the blue-haired woman said. That's enough, Conan. Nagato said. The clone looked at the woman now named Conan and spoke up. Wow, you are quite the looker. I can only imagine what you're hiding under that robe of yours. I'd say you're about maybe a double D cup size under there. Perhaps after business is done here we can head back to my place and roll around. I mean, I have nothing to be shy about. I'm packing, and from the tense look on your face you haven't gotten laid in years. Hey boss, if you could see what I'm looking at you would totally bang her. The clone said. I'm 35, I'm too old for you, Conan said. You can be older all you want, but you certainly aged like fine wine. I wouldn't mind a taste. Conan started to blush at that, and Naruto had enough and destroyed the clone. Fucking clones, sorry about that. Sometimes since they don't really feel pain since they disperse, they get a bit perverted since I can feel pain. He said and stopped and went through the clone's memories and saw what she looked like. Although he was right, you are beautiful but not the one I'm looking for. He said. Conan couldn't speak, but Nagato did. Okay, despite your perverted clone, have you come here to kill me like you said? Nagato asked. At first I was, but then I thought about it. I don't even know your full story, so tell me about it. Naruto said. Very well, I was a war orphan due to the death of my parents by Leaf Shinobi. I met Conan and our friend Yahiko, who took me in. We became close, basically a family. Then Jiraiya-sensei found us. He trained us for 3 years before leaving us behind on his journey to find peace. We started the Akatsuki as a rebel group, helping those in need, fighting against the once leader of Omegakure, Hanzo the Salamander. We created the Akatsuki, with the sole purpose of creating peace through words. We had a meeting with Hanzo to establish peace among the Akatsuki and Ame, because a civil war broke out. It was supposed to be a peaceful negotiation, however Hanzo, aided by Danzo, changed his mind and took Conan as a hostage. He ordered me and Yahiko to kill one another, and Conan gets let free. I was against this until Yahiko threw himself onto my kunai, killing himself. I was enraged and attacked Hanzo, however he escaped, and I became a cripple as you see right now. Then years later I created the bodies for my 6 paths that you defeated, and thus pain was born. I killed Hanzo, and was approached by a man in a mask claiming to be Madara Uchiha. He told me about this plan for peace, but it involves all of the tailed beasts, so we spent years recruiting members of our group and funds for us. We started as a mercenary group taking missions from villages, mainly Idowa, to earn money for our goal. That is my story. Now that you know it, you can see that peace is not going to be achieved without war. Nagato said. So I got 2 things from that story. You're extremely easy to manipulate and I need to kill Danzo. Naruto said. How can you say Nagato is easily manipulated? Conan asked. How can you just go along with somebody who claims to be Madara Uchiha? I've seen him. He acts like an idiot. Madara would never do something like that based on the stories I've heard about him. He isn't even the same height or have the correct body type. On top of that, he uses a jutsu to make his voice deep. The guy is a fraud. He played you and used your anger to manipulate you. Besides, even if you captured the other 8-tailed beasts, your plan wouldn't have worked anyway. Naruto said. Why not? Nagato asked. I released the Kyuubi when I was 12 thanks to an Uzumaki seal. My godmother left me all of the Uzumaki sealing scrolls which I've mastered, and I was able to remove him and send him away. Naruto said. You lie, there is no such seal that exists, Conan said. Actually there is. Ask Nagato. After all, he is an Uzumaki, Naruto said with a smirk. How did you know? Nagato asked. I have the Uzumaki locating seal. I tried it out and I had 3 dots on there. 2 were with Orochimaru, but I saved one of them. The other is probably traveling around now since Orochimaru is supposedly dead. The other was Tsunade Senju, my grandmother, who is part Uzumaki from her grandmother. However, there was a 4th dot that was extremely faded, almost as if the person didn't want to be found, and it seems I've found him. Naruto said. I am an Uzumaki, however I did not want to be found because Uzumakas were being hunted and killed. This was before I made the 6-path bodies, so I placed a blocking seal over mine. Now answer me this, Naruto. How will you find your answer to achieve peace if war is still around? Nagato asked. Well, I know war is still around and at this point unavoidable, however I won't give up. In Pervy Sage's book Tales of a Gutsy Ninja, he wrote of a student who gave him inspiration to write it. That person was you, Nagato. There is nothing that will make me give up my dream of peace. If it even exists somewhere, I'll grasp it and hold on to it to make sure it lasts. I'll never give up. I'm sure he trusted you to find the same thing, however you gave up and chose pain and destruction. Instead of you using your gift for destruction, you could have used them to make the world better. Naruto said, and Nagato had a thoughtful look on his face. Why? How can you stand there and decide you will never change? Nagato asked. Because I've already felt pain. When my uncle died, he committed suicide in front of my eyes, all to make sure peace remained in this world. My grandfather gave up his life in front of my eyes and entrusted me to protect the King of the Leaf, and told me to never fall off the path I've chosen to follow at a young age. No matter what pain comes, I refuse to give up. That does not describe who Naruto is. Naruto said. You're a weird one. You remind me of my younger self a little bit. I shall put my remaining trust in you during your quest for peace, Nagato said and held up a hand sign. Why are you gathering chakra? Naruto said, getting ready to fight. Nagato's ocular prowess has a technique that governs life and death. The 7th path, called the outer path, Conan said. In Konoha, the king of hell emerged from the ground and released the souls of the deceased from its mouth. All around Konoha, dead bodies were being hit by green light and waking up. Anko and Tsunade, who were holding the bodies of Iruka and Shizune, were scared when they turned green, but were shocked when they woke up, and everybody around, civilians and ninja, were celebrating. Naruto has done it, and he finally won. Back in the paper tree, Nagato's hair turned white and blood was coming from his mouth. Nagato was dying. There's nothing harder than having to accept the death of a person you've loved, so in order for us to ignore that we simply tell ourselves that they cannot die. It's a false reality we all wish we could live in, where everyone we care about lives forever. But sadly that isn't the case, especially in our world and the current state it is in. Naruto, I truly believe you and achieve peace. With that the paper tree faded away and Nagato died. Naruto and Konan were standing there with the body of Yahiko that was used for the Deva path. So what are you going to do now? Are you still returning to the Akatsuki? Naruto asked. No, I'm done with the Akatsuki. I'm going back to Ame to become the leader and lead it into an era of true peace like the original Akatsuki was supposed to do, Konan said. I have a suggestion. I think you should destroy Nagato's eyes. That fake Madara must want them for his plan to work. I'd destroy them now if I were you. If he wants them, then he will come after you for them. Naruto said. Konan thought about it for a while before removing his eyes and balling them up in paper before blowing it up. She made a paper bouquet of roses and handed them to Naruto. Like Nagato, I too shall put my trust in you, Naruto, Konan said before she could leave. Naruto gave her a tri-pronged kunai, just in case. He said. She nodded and left in a flutter of paper with the bodies of Nagato and Yahiko. Well, I better get going, he said and summoned Shadow. I take it that you want Naruto? Shadow asked. Naruto nodded. Let me guess, your eyesight is gone and you need the transfer? Shadow asked again and Naruto nodded. Shadow picked Naruto up and put him on his back before taking off towards the Leaf Village. They arrived and everyone was waiting for him. They rushed him and Kid started harassing him with questions, pulling on him. All his friends were in the back happy for him. Naruto, Tsunade said, walking up to him. He lifted his head towards her. Can you see me? She asked and he shook his head no. She grabbed his hand and took him to a medical tent they set up and he laid down on the mat they had in there. I need the eyes, Naruto, she said, and he unsealed them from his bicep and gave them to her. She did a sleeping jutsu on him and began the transplant. 3 hours later she was finished. He had bandages over his eyes. You usually would have to wait about a week for your body to get used to the new eyes, however you should be ready to use them in about 3 days, so just keep the bandages on. I'm going to move you to my tent with Jiraiya. He should wake up from his coma soon, so just take it easy. Tsunade said. He nodded. Thank you, Granny, and I'm sorry for lying to you, but I just didn't want you to worry about me. Oh, and you don't have call our allies to help rebuild. I placed a seal on the ground around Konoha to restore it, but it has to wait since I'm incapacitated right now, he said. Okay, Naruto, I won't worry about it. I have an emergency meeting with the fire daimyo and the elders. Apparently he got word the village was destroyed, but the thing is he was told before it even happened. Tsunade said. It was Danzo, he was responsible for all of this, the Akatsuki. Me arriving late, he wants the Hokage seat. He's gonna try and force it from you. Bring up the fact that he told the fire daimyo before it even happened. That will shut him up because then he would be forced to answer and tell him about Root being active still. Naruto said. I will just relax for the next 3 days. I'll take care of everything else, she said and left. Naruto pulled out his necklace and held the yang symbol on it. I'll see you soon, Zamui, were his final thoughts before sleep claimed him. Unknown to him, the person he was thinking about would be in the leaf in 3 days. How much farther till we get there? A redhead with amber eyes complained. We still have 3 days, Karui. That gives you plenty of time to figure out why your breasts haven't grown or why you're still single and haven't been laid. A light blonde-haired boy said. Shut up, Omoi, Karui yelled and threw a rock at him in the direction on Konoha. Don't worry about my breasts, and Samui hasn't been laid either. She rejects everybody that asks her out, Karui said while pointing at her. Will you two stop arguing like little kids? It's not cool and you're giving me a headache, Samui said. Sorry, Samui, but Karui does raise a point. You've never let a man touch you before, and you reject all of their offers to take you out on a date. Have you ever kissed a boy before? Omoi asked. Yes, I have. Now leave me alone. We've still got 3 days until we reach Konoha. Now let's go, she said and jumped off into the trees. Wow, Omoi, you actually got something out of her, Karui said. I know, and it's weird, he said, and they jumped to catch up to Samui, who took out her necklace with the yin symbol on it. I'll see you soon. Kami better not had lied to me, Samui thought before putting the necklace away since Omoi and Karui caught up to her. As they traveled more, a ghost of Kiyomi appeared with a smile. It's time you finally met each other again, she said before disappearing. 3 days later they arrived at the Leaf Village and of course Omoi had to mess with Karui. Karui, how could you do this? He asked. I didn't mean to. It was just a tiny rock. What do we do now? She asked, scared. Samui rolled her eyes at this. Let's go. We're only here for information on Sasuke Uchiha, the Akatsuki, and to tell the Hokage about the 5 Kage summit the Raikage requested. Samui said they walked some more until they found a jonin. What are Kumo Shinobi doing in the Leaf Village? He asked rudely. I am Samui, this is Karui and Omoi. We were sent here with a letter to the Hokage from our Raikage, Samui said. Very well, follow me. I'll take you to the Hokage, the jonin said. Before we go, what happened here? Karui asked. The leader of the Akatsuki came in and attacked our village. This was the result until he was defeated. The Jonin said. Your Hokage must be pretty strong if she was able to take out the leader of the Akatsuki herself, Omoi said. It wasn't our Hokage, she was focused on healing the wounded shinobi. It was one of our Jonin who is stronger than our Hokage. She even admitted that she couldn't beat him. They've spared a lot before he left to train and she barely won. He came back after almost 3 years and completely wiped the floor with Jiraiya-sama. And he even used Sage Mode but said the Jonin was only using 25% of his strength when they fought. The Jonin said, shocking them. Where is this Jonin? Omoi asked. Nobody knows, he hasn't been seen in 3 days. He came back from training blind, and it got worse when he fought the Akatsuki leader. Lady Tsunade said she would fix him but nobody saw him for 3 days. The Jonin said. Now only one of you can come with me due to the leaf, not really trusting Kumo due to past reasons. The Jonin said. I'll go with you. Kurui. Omoi, try not to cause any trouble. Samui said and left with the Jonin. Kurui and Omoi walk around until they hear Sakura talking to Ino and Hinata. I don't know guys, this village wouldn't like this had Sasuke-kun been here, she said. Sakura, for the last time Sasuke is not coming back to the village and we know that, Ino said. Yeah, face it Sakura, that Sasuke fantasy of yours won't happen. Hinata said. That's when Kurui drew her sword and spoke up. Tell me everything you know about Sasuke Uchiha, she said and charged at them. She was outnumbered so Omoi drew his sword and joined in. Meanwhile Samui finished her meeting and got information on Sasuke, and told Tsunade about the 5 Kage summit. She was walking around looking for her team when she heard sounds of fighting. I told those 2 idiots not to cause any trouble. With that she took off towards the fighting. She found them fighting 3 girls from the village. What are you 2 doing? I said don't cause any trouble, the first thing you do is start a fight, Samui said. I know, but they have information that isn't in the leaf data books on Sasuke, and they refuse to give it up, so they will tell us by force. Kurui said as she and Omoi charged in again, and the fight ensued again. I'm not getting involved in this, you want to fight, go ahead. Samui said Omoi and Kurui were already fighting. Meanwhile Naruto just woke up and took his bandages off. He looked at his eyes, they were still blue. He activated his sharingan, then his mangekyou, which was different. His 4 choku tomo were still there, however they were outside of a circle that had Shisui's mangekyou pattern inside of it. Picture is on my profile. Eternal light, he said. He stood up and used his water manipulation to wash up. He had some soap in the tent. He dried off with his fire chakra heating his body. He put a pair of boxers on that he had sealed on him and put his pants and sandals on when he felt Sakura, Ino and Hinata's chakra spike, as well as 3 foreign shinobi. 2 were aggressive, and the 3rd was annoyed. He didn't bother to grab his shirt or vest. He picked up the Kubikiri Bocho and took off towards the fight. He was above them in a tree and saw the 2 fighting was a red-headed girl and a light blonde-haired boy. He didn't even look at the 3rd person. He saw Kurui and Omoi charge at Sakura, Ino and Hinata, so he made himself known. He jumped down and kicked Omoi's sword away and grabbed Kurui's from her. He had the Kubikiri Bocho pointed at Omoi's neck and Kurui's sword pointed at her own neck. Everyone was shocked because it happened so quickly. I'm going to ask once, why the fuck are Kumo shinobi here in the Leaf Village? He said in a cold tone. The girls were speechless due to him not having a shirt on, so they saw his physique. He had an 8-pack and his chest muscles were perfect for his body and his arms were muscular but not bulky. Omoi spoke up. We wanted information on Sasuke Uchiha and to speak to the Hokage about something. The Raikage wants to deal with the Akatsuki since they took his brother. He said. You should have checked our shinobi records room then not fucking attack Leaf Shinobi, and I find it funny the Raikage wants to get off his ass now. The Leaf sent him a letter to help deal with the Akatsuki and he declined. Now that his brother is taken he wants to fucking get his head out of his ass. If it was up to me I would reject his offer, but knowing the Hokage she probably agreed already. Naruto said. Kurui got her wits back and spoke. Don't disrespect the Raikage in front of us or I'll kick your ass, and second, this pink-haired girl has information that isn't in the record books. Kurui said. If you haven't noticed I have a sword at your neck, so don't threaten me. I've killed 3 members of the Akatsuki and came up with the plan to kill another so that 4 and one of them happen to be the leader, so dealing with you would be child's play. He said, and Samui spoke up next. Where did you get that necklace? She asked. None of your business, he said. Wait, you defeated the Akatsuki leader? You're like the same age as us, Kurui said. Same age, yes, but you're nowhere near my level of strength. I can take on Jiraiya Tsunade at the same time and was able to fight Orochimaru on even ground at the age of 13. Naruto said. I'll ask one more time, where did you get that necklace from? Samui asked. None of your fucking business. Naruto said she was going to attack, but Sakura, Ino and Hinata spoke up. Well, if it isn't the hero of the Leaf Village, where have you been? Ino asked. Yeah, Naruto, you had us worried, Hinata said, and Samui froze. So Naruto, since you've healed, I would love to finally get some alone time with you. Sakura said. Okay, first I had to get my eyes fixed, that's why you haven't seen me for 3 days, Ino. Hinata, I'm sorry, but I was in the Hokage's resting tent, and Sakura, I've told you this before, it will never happen between us. Naruto said. Naruto, Samui said. Yeah, what do you want? He asks. You don't remember me? Samui asked. No, I don't. Am I supposed to? He asked. She nodded and pulled out her necklace, showing him her yin symbol. He dropped the swords. Karui and Omoi jumped back to Samui's side. Samui? He asked. She nodded and ran and gave him a hug, which he returned. What the fuck is going on? Samui, you never let a boy touch you except the one boy you said you kissed. Now you just give some random leaf shinobi a hug. What the fuck are you doing? Karui asked. Omoi just nods his head in agreement. Sakura and Ino were also confused, but Hinata has a smile on her face. Is this her Naruto? Hinata asked, and he nodded while still hugging Samui, and he felt tears on his chest. He let go and wiped them away from her eyes. He leaned down and gave her a kiss that she returned. This shocked Karui and Omoi even more. I missed you, Naruto, she said. I missed you too, he said, and they broke apart, and he got a good look at her. She was tall, fair-skinned with a curvaceous figure. Her eyes were still blue, and now she had straight shoulder-length blonde hair. She wore a very low-cut outfit which displays her cleavage, with mesh armor underneath, a short skirt and red handguards, high boots, and what appears to be a modified Kumo flak jacket that covers her stomach only, similar to a girdle. She also carries a tanto strapped horizontally to her lower back. Wow, you certainly grew up, Samui. You're even more beautiful than when I last saw you, he said, and she blushed. I can say the same about you, she said, and he scratched the back of his head laughing. So what happened to you? Why did you just disappear and go to Kumo? He asked. I didn't just disappear. My father hated you and lied to me. He said you were killed by some rogue ninja, and we had to move because he didn't want that to happen to me, she said, and gave him another hug. Just then an Anbu appeared. It was Kat, and she gave Naruto a message. Naruto, Hokage-sama has told me to tell you to fix her fucking village before she punches you in the air. So far you won't be seen for a week. Her words, not mine. She also says that if you say you forgot, I can slap you, Kat said, and everybody could hear the amusement in her voice. You didn't forget, did you? She asked, and Naruto looked around. No, of course I didn't forget. I had something to deal with. Besides, if she wanted to tell, she could have gotten her old ass up and told me herself, he said. Is that so? A voice asked from behind him that made him freeze. He turned around and saw Tsunade with a certain smile on her face. It's going to hurt, isn't it? He asked as she nodded, and next thing everyone knew, she uppercut him into the sky so far that after a while he became a shining mark in the sky. So you came to my office, but I didn't get your name, Tsunade asked. I'm Samui. This is Karui and Omoi, Samui replied. Ah, so you're the girl he's been waiting for. You got a good one. He's turned down every marriage proposal, any marriage contract sent his way, and he even had girls offer him SEC, just because, and he rejected them all. But let me tell you something, you hurt my grandson, and I'll hunt you down, Tsunade said. Grandson? How is he your grandson? Karui asked. Well, one night after the second shinobi war, me and his grandfather were hanging out. Next thing we knew, I had a dick inside me moving in and out. Karui cut her off. Okay, alright, I get it, no need for details, but he has black hair. I'm sure your kid must have had blonde hair, Karui said. My son did have blonde hair, however Naruto's mother is an Uchiha, so he has her hair color but his father's spikiness. Now I'm going to have him fix my village, so you might want to stand back, he's about to be landing soon, Tsunade said, and they all backed up, and sure enough he came falling out of the sky and left a Naruto-sized hole in the ground. He jumped out completely fine with a smile. You broke your record, Granny Tsunade, that's the highest you've ever punched me, he said, and Karui was just staring at him. How is he not hurt or have any scratches on that sexy body of his? Karui said. Karui, back off, he's mine, Samui said. No bitch, actually he's mine. I had him first, Sakura said. Well, look at that, it's time for me to fix the village, Naruto said. Naruto, answered the question. Are you mine or some random blonde bitch that just walked into the village? Sakura asked. Why couldn't I have been born ugly? Anyway, Sakura, I was never yours no matter how many times you tried. As for Samui, we've been together really since we were kids. We were each other's first kiss, actually the first few kisses before she left, so that makes her mine and vice versa. Now can I please fix this village so I don't get punches again? Yes, you can. Everyone should be on top of the Hokage monument by now, Tsunade said. Okay, you guys might want to jump in the trees for this one. They all jumped in the trees, but Samui gave him a kiss before leaving. He walked about 10 feet in front of him and located the activation seal for the giant seal he placed, and channeled a ton of chakra so much that it became visible. Uzumaki sealing, village restoration. As soon as he said back, he was blown away by the seal, but Hiraishin to the kunai he had stuck in the tree, shocking the Kumo shinobi. You know the Hiraishin jutsu? Karui asked. Yeah, my father left it for me, he said. Who is your father? Omoi asked. Minato Namikaze. I look just like him except I have black hair, he said. You know the Raikage will challenge you to a speed contest if you want to date Samui since she is from Kumo, right? Karui asked. That would be true if she was actually from Kumo. You see, Samui is technically a Konoha shinobi. Her father enrolled her into the ninja academy for when our age group was scheduled to go. He never removed her from the program, and the civilians ran the ninja academy before I took over, so they saw her name and remembered her father, so they kept giving her passing grades when she wasn't here. They even graduated her, so if she wanted she could move here and claim a headband if she wanted to. Tsunade said. Wow, I would love to move back here, but I don't have anywhere to live. Samui said. Samui, you can't be serious. What about Kumo? Karui asked. What about it? It's filled with men that want nothing but to just get in my pants. You remember those 6 months I was gone? She asked Karui, who nodded. Well, I was sent to prison because the Raikage tried to give me a B-rank mission to sleep with him and I refused, so he had me sent to prison. So no, I will not be staying in Kumo anymore. I'm moving back to be with Naruto. She said, hugging him. Wow, your Raikage is an asshole. How could he do that? Ino asked. He tried the same thing with his secretary Mabui and she refused. He had her killed by the Enbu claiming she was a spy. He didn't try it with Yugito because she is a Jinchuriki and she would let the two-tailed cat loose on him. Samui said she took her Kumo headband out from her back pouch and took off her Kumo flak jacket and handed them to Karui. I'm not coming back to that village, you can go, but I'm not. Samui said. Karui just hugged her and was shocked. Samui returned it. I'm going to miss you, Samui. I can't leave Kumo, it's where I was born and raised. Karui said. You, Karui, despite your attitude you're pretty cool. Now do me a favor, Samui said. What's up? Karui asked. Drop the genjutsu on your chest, I've seen them before. Samui said. Karui was shocked but nodded. The genjutsu dropped and they were the same size as Hinata's. Okay, they must have grown. Now I'm going to warn you, if the Raikage finds out you have a chest like that he will assign you the same mission he tried to give me. Now what you can do is file a shinobi release form. Go to my house and in my kitchen there is a loose floorboard. It has a stamp of the Raikage underneath it. Mabui managed to get her hands on one for me. Use it to stamp where the Raikage needs to stamp it and hand it to the council and they will file it. I want you to come here with me. I should have a house or apartment. Omo you can come to if you like. If that is okay with the Hokage, of course. Samui said. Yes, they can join, and don't worry, the only person who would try something on you will be taken care of shortly. Isn't that right, Naruto? Tsunade asked, but Naruto wasn't paying attention. He was staring at a tree in front of him. Tsunade went to slap him, but he vanished with his sword, and then next thing they knew 10 dead blank masked Anbu members fell out of the tree. Yeah, he is going to die really soon. Did you get the order, Granny? He asked. I sure did. I talked to the daimyo after everybody else left and put up the privacy barrier. He wrote up the kill on sight form for me. Why? She asked. Danzo, get your ass out here. He yelled, everybody get back now. He said, and Danzo walked out with his arm uncovered in sharingan. You can't use your sharingan, boy. It's time I killed you and started my plans to take over the leaf. Rude to me. As soon as he said that, his entire army of rude shinobi, which wasn't much, maybe about 100%, showed up. You're a fool, Danzo. I can use my eyes now and they are better than ever, he said, and activated his eternal Mangekyu Sharingan. Susanoo. He was surrounded by the upper body of a black warrior in armor that had a golden tomo on its chest. The Susanoo also had a sword just like the Kubikiri Bocho in its hand. Naruto used the sword of his Susanoo and killed all of the root shinobi and cut Danzo in half. But to everyone's shock except Naruto, he disappeared and reappeared without a scratch on him. So you wanted all of those Sharingan to use the infamous Izanagi technique so you can cheat death. That's good, it means I can kill you multiple times over until you're finally dead, 1 eye down, 9 more to go. Danzo was scared. Naruto figured out his plan and he took out all of his root shinobi. Now Danzo, we both knew this was coming. However, I bet you thought the people behind you would come kill you, Naruto said, and Danzo turned around to see Sasuke and Itachi staring at him. What? Was all Danzo could say. See, Ino, I told you Sasuke-kun would come back. Look at him, hasn't he grown even sexier? Sakura said. You do realize this is a genjutsu, right? Karui asked. Huh? How do you know that? Sakura said. Because Itachi is dead. Sasuke killed him when they fought. Moi said. Sasuke didn't kill Itachi. I know Itachi was already dying from the same thing that Shisui had. All Sasuke did was fight somebody who was at about 50%, maybe less, and he still struggled against him. One of my dragons decided to come to our world and notice them fighting. Itachi never went for any killing blows. His ultimate goal in that fight was to remove the essence of Orochimaru from his brother, which he did. However, a small white snake got away, so Orochimaru is still alive. Now enough talk, I need to kill Danzo. Naruto said. He charged at Danzo and stabbed him in the chest with his lightning edge. Danzo fell to the ground and disappeared once again. You've become a real pest, boy. I should have killed you when you were younger, Danzo said. Yeah, I get that a lot now. This is taking forever. Samui just came back and I want to spend some alone time with her, Naruto said, so he charged at Danzo so fast that his arm was cut off and the eye behind his bandages was ripped out. Danzo felt his eye removed and tried to use Izanagi again and it didn't work. My Izanagi isn't working. What did you do? Danzo asked. I took out all of your Sharingan at once, Naruto said, holding the arm with the Sharingan in it, and Danzo gritted his teeth and pulled open his robe, revealing a seal, and activated it. If I can't control the leaf, then neither will you. Danzo said, but Naruto punched him in the air with a chakra-enhanced punch, and grabbed everybody close by and protected them all with his fully complete Susanoo. An explosion happened and the area around them was blown up a bit, but not by much, something that could easily be fixed. He released the Susanoo and everybody was relieved. Well, Naruto, looks like that's another plot of land you can buy, Tsunade said. No, I'll stick with fixing up the red light district. It's a better investment there, Naruto said. Wait, you own an entire district? Karui asked. No, I own about 6 to 7 blocks. I inherited 3 from my father and I bought 3 or 4 more since Granny became Hokage. Outside of the stuff I haven't bought yet, there is only one building I don't own, and that's a restaurant called Ichirakus. I bought it, fixed it up, paid the entire building off and signed it over to my IMA, the owner. He said. Wow, Samui, you got a good one. He's sexy, strong and rich. Only thing wrong with him is he probably has a small penis. Karui said, yeah, I don't have a small one. It's part of the reason I don't wear anything tight. He said. Samui whispered in his ear, how big are you exactly? She whispered and he responded, 10 inches. He whispered back and she had to fight back a nosebleed. Okay, can we get this over with now? Anything else you need, Lady Tsunade? Samui asked impatiently. She wanted to spend some time with Naruto. Yeah, there is actually. At the 5 Kage summit next week we can bring 2 bodyguards. I'm bringing Naruto and Samui as my guards. That's it for me. Anybody else got anything to say? Nobody said nothing until Naruto spoke. Actually, yeah, I have a gift for Samui. He said. He bit his thumb and went through hand signs, summoning jutsu. Out of the smoke came everyone's favorite dragon. Hey Bob, Naruto said, and Karui laughed. It was the wrong thing to do. Who the fuck is laughing at my name? Bob yelled and Karui instantly shut up. Hey Bob, remember that girl we talked about? Well, this is Samui. He said, pushing her forward. She was actually scared to meet this dragon and he just pushed her forward. Bob leaned down to get a better look at her. Hey, she said. Sup? So Naruto, I take it Helios gave you his blessing? Bob asked and Naruto nodded. Suddenly a scroll appeared in front of Samui and unrolled, revealing only Naruto's on the contract. The Dragon Elder, after hearing about you from me, has decided to let you sign the dragon contract. Just bite your finger and sign it and add blood to your hand for the handprint. She did as told and Bob disappeared with the scroll. Now what? Samui asked. Now I show you then hand signs and you summon your familiar. He bit his thumb and did the hand signs slowly so she could see them and he summoned Shadow. What the fuck, Naruto? I was with my girlfriend and we were just about to. He stopped when Tsunade was glaring at him. You were about to what? She asked. Nothing, just fly around. So what's up, Naruto? Shadow asked, changing the subject. Samui signed the contract and is about to summon her familiar. I thought you wanted to see who she got. He said, and Shadow looked at Samui, who bit her thumb and did the hand signs. Summoning jutsu. What the hell is this? Shadow, where did you go? I was waiting for you too. The dragon was cut off by Samui. I summoned you, I'm Samui. Who are you? Samui asked as the smoke finished clearing and Naruto and Shadow had their jaws on the ground. It was a dragon that looked like Shadow, except this one was all white with an icy blue stomach and sky blue eyes with a black diamond-like slit in its eyes. This was Shadow's girlfriend. The name is Suzushi. I take it I'm your familiar now. I would love to stay and chat, but me and Shadow were busy, so let's go, lover boy. Suzushi said and took Shadow with her to the dragon realm. Okay, no more surprises, Naruto said. Alright everyone, you're dismissed. Karui, Omoy, you can stay a few days before heading out again. Tsunade said. We would, but the Raikage is expecting us before he leaves for the 5 Kage summit. We have to leave now, unfortunately, to make it back on time. Karui said. Naruto walked up to her and tapped her on the back of her neck. If you need a quick escape, channel chakra to that seal I placed on your neck and I'll be there in the blink of an eye. He said, and Karui thanked him and took off with Omoy. Karui, are you really going to leave Kumo? Omoy asked. If what Samui says is true, then yes I am. I'm going into the village with my actual chest out. If the Raikage tells me to come back later for a B-rank mission, I'll go to Samui's house after the report, and use the stamp and call Naruto to pick me up after I hand the form to the council. Are you going to come with me if I do? He asked. You know I am. We stick together through anything, remember? Omoy said. Yeah, I remember, Karui said, and they kept moving towards Kumo. Back in the leaf, Naruto was with Samui in his house with her straddling his lap making out. I really missed you, Naruto. I thought about you every day, she said in between kisses. I missed you too, he said through kisses. Take me to your room. I've waited long enough for this. Make me yours. She said. He stood up and she wrapped her legs around his waist and he took her to the room. It's a good thing the houses were soundproof and had a privacy barrier because Samui and Naruto's moans would have been heard throughout the village. Meanwhile, the fake Madara was talking to Sasuke's team Taka. It consisted of Sasuke, a red-haired girl with glasses that was Karin Uzumaki. There was an orange-haired boy Jugo. A white-haired boy with shark teeth, this was Sugetsu. Zetsu has informed me that Danzo has made a scheme to become Hokage. He will be at the 5 Kage summit. You can get your revenge on him there, Sasuke. The fake Madara said. Good, after he dies Konoha will burn to the ground. Sasuke said, showing off his Mangaku sharingan. Meanwhile, Naruto and Samui just finished another round of sex and Samui was glowing. Naruto pulled out of her and laid next to her and she cuddled into his chest, breathing heavy. "I love you, Naruto," she said. "I love you too, Samui," he said and kissed her on the head. They laid like that until Samui fell asleep with a smile on her face and Naruto soon joined her. Warning, lemon in this chapter. A few days go by since Naruto met Samui and she moved to Konoha. They were cuddled up in bed, just talking about her life so far. He introduced her to his most important people, Anko, Ayame, Kurenai, and Jiraiya, who joked about Tsunade having another child. Anko, Ayame, and Kurenai all grilled Samui to make sure she was just after his money and wouldn't hurt him. After the grilling was over, they tried to embarrass Naruto about the sex, but all three of them wound up taking notes from the two teenagers. "I didn't think it would be so easy for me to fit in here," Samui said. "I told you it would be easy. Although I think you have a problem with my fangirls." Naruto said, "Naruto, I just got you back. I don't want to lose you, especially to those girls. When I said you're mine, I meant it," Samui said, looking up at him. "Samui, after what we did the first night here, I'm not going anywhere," he said and leaned down to kiss her. It started out as a peck but turned into a passionate makeout session. Samui was about to put her hand down his pants but she was stopped by Naruto. "I'm sorry, but somebody activated one of my markers. I'm all yours when I get back, I promise," he told her. He gave her one more kiss and teleported away. Samui laid there upset that she was interrupted but was worried about whoever called him. Naruto arrived seeing Konan about to be killed. He flashed to the marker he placed on the masked man and kicked him away, then grabbed Konan and took her to Konoha. He arrived in Tsunade's office and she was there with Jiraiya. "Granny, can you heal her? This is the lady that left the Akatsuki. This is Konan," he said. "Yeah, I can do it." She got up and walked over to Konan and began healing her. After 20 minutes, Konan's wounds were healed and she was awake. "Konan, what happened?" Jiraiya asked. "I was in the middle of making plans for Ame to become peaceful and build relationships with other countries when the fake Madara showed up demanding I hand over Nagato's Rinnegan. He attacked when I didn't give them to him and we fought. I thought I killed him but he just faded away and appeared again. It took me using everything I had to kill him but then he was just alive again. We fought again and he still struggled against me and barely won. He would have killed me if I hadn't called for Naruto. He saved me. I was literally 10 seconds away from dying." Konan said. "He used the Izanagi technique to stay alive. It costs an eye to go blind and the only way to restore the sight is if you gain the Rinnegan. But let me ask you something. When you were fighting him, did your attacks keep going through him?" Naruto asked and Konan nodded. "He uses the Kamui, a technique of the Mangaku sharingan. He's the same guy that fought my dad and godmother. They said the same thing, all he did was make their attack phase right through him. He probably doesn't have much skill outside of the one move, and he maybe only know the typical Uchiha fireball jutsu." Naruto said. "That's good and all, but why does he want the Rinnegan and where are Nagato's eyes?" Jiraiya asked. "He wants the Rinnegan to control the Geto statue that has the tailed beasts we've collected inside. Without it he can't control it. We've collected all the tailed beasts except for the one-tailed beast, seven-tailed beast, and the 8 tails. It's impossible for them to get the 9 tails since Naruto got rid of it. So the only other thing he can do is throw a temper tantrum and maybe go to war, having failed in his plan to capture the tailed beasts. He found out that the 7-tailed host was pregnant, and since she is vulnerable he was going after her. As for the Rinnegan eyes, I destroyed them," she said. Just then Naruto disappeared again in a yellow flash. He arrived and saw Fu scared, holding her stomach trying to protect her baby. The genjutsu was released from her stomach. Shibuki was looking beat up but had a kunai in each hand, standing in front of Fu who had her other hand on his shoulder. She looked up and noticed Naruto. She was going to say something when he held his finger to his lips. Shibuki, seeing this, says nothing. The fake Madara charged at them, but they were suddenly sucked into a vortex faster than he could get there. Naruto concealed his chakra and spoke up. "You were to slow Tobi," he said. Tobi spun around looking for who said that but found nobody. "You won't find me, so stop looking," Naruto said. "Stop hiding like a coward and show yourself," Tobi said in an angry voice. "Why would I do that? This is much more fun. Besides, you really shouldn't call anybody a coward. You hide behind your Kamui technique in a fight, but once it wears out you can't actually fight, can you? You don't have to answer that," Naruto said. "Show yourself," Tobi yelled. My temper. You should learn to calm down. By the way, nice touch up on your body with the senju cells. I can feel the chakra from your eye as well. I've felt it before somewhere long before I've met you. So that begs the question, who are you really?" Naruto asked. "I am Madara Uchiha, the strongest shinobi known to man," Tobi yelled. "Now there's no need to lie. After all, I don't think Madara would lose to Konan and have to resort to using the Izanagi technique just to win the fight, and you barely won," Naruto said. "How do you know about the Izanagi technique?" Tobi asked. "Oh, I've been around for a while. I know all about the Uchiha techniques gifted by the Sharingan," Naruto said. "You talk as if you aren't worried about the Uchiha techniques. You are standing in front of the strongest Uchiha known to man, Toby said. That's because I'm not worried about the Uchiha techniques, especially from someone who can only use one technique from the famed Mangekyou Sharingan, and only halfway at that. Now that other kid Naruto Uchiha, he is someone I fear. Naruto said. The Jinchuriki is nothing compared to me. I will capture him soon enough, Toby said. You say he is nothing compared to you, but it is in fact the other way around. Someone responsible for taking out almost the entire Akatsuki, and even the leader with the Rinnegan, who you had to wait for to die before making your move on him, and you aren't worried. You must believe that you are really Madara. Oh well, it was nice seeing you again, Toby, Naruto said, and with that he vanished back to Konoha. Who was he? Toby asked himself before he disappeared in a vortex of his own. Naruto arrived back in the Hokage's office. What are you guys doing? Naruto asked. Just catching up with my old student, Jiraiya said. Where did you go, Naruto? Tsunade asked, pouring another drink. I had to save Fu and Shibuki from the fake Madara. Naruto said he activated his eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, and used Kamui to bring Fu and Shibuki out, who was immediately being healed by Tsunade. Fu, what happened to you both? How did he find you? Naruto asked. We were kicked out of the village because somebody that we trusted told the council I was pregnant. We were about to call for you until that masked man showed up and attacked us. Thank you for saving me and Shibuki-kun. Fu says. Don't worry about it, besides I can't have my godchild dying on me, Naruto said with a smile. We thank you for letting us stay here, Lady Tsunade, Shibuki said. It's nothing now. I believe Naruto has a house for all of you if you would like them, Tsunade said. I'll have to pass. I will be returning to Ami and take my place as its leader. Besides, if I need help I'll just call Naruto, Conan said. We'll take it, but I don't want to be a shinobi anymore, Lady Tsunade. I don't like fighting, and was only forced to because I am a Jinchuriki. I want to stay at home and be a mother to my child. Fu said. I can accept that, and after you give birth in 3 to 4 months and rest up a bit, Naruto can remove the 7 tails from you if you'd like him to. Tsunade said. I would like that very much, Lady Tsunade. I'm sure Chomei will be happy as well, Fu said. Ah, so you learned his name, that's good, Naruto said. Conan, when do you plan on leaving? Jiraiya asked. I'll leave tomorrow, it's late right now, she said. Okay, I'll head out with you. I need to do one final stop amongst my spy network, Jiraiya said. What do you mean final stop? Naruto asked. It means I'm retiring, Naruto. Tsunade and I want to have more kids, and before the rest of you say how, me and Tsunade, despite being in our 50s, kept our bodies in top shape so everything still works like we are in our 20s. Especially Tsunade, since she is part Uzumaki, she has that longevity thing going on. Plus I'm leaving the spy network in good hands with you, Naruto. Jiraiya said. Well, that's enough excitement for the night. Everyone is dismissed. Conan, you can stay at my house since you're leaving with Jiraiya in the morning. Naruto, remember we leave in 3 days for the Kage Summit. We can fly on Niji and get there in a few hours, so travel won't be a problem. I've already booked 2 hotel rooms for us. Now take Fu and Shibuki to their new home. Tsunade said. Everyone, Naruto, Fu and Shibuki left, while Tsunade, Jiraiya and Conan stayed behind and had some drinks. Naruto was sensing the way Tsunade and Conan were feeling tonight, and if he had to guess, Jiraiya was getting lucky tonight. Naruto reached the compound and showed Fu and Shibuki the houses, and told them what they had to do. They were shocked when they found out they only had to worry about food and clothes and whatever else that they needed. They entered the house and were amazed by the way it looked. Naruto told them if he needed anything to just come to him. They thanked him and he went home. He entered his house and called out for Samui, but she didn't reply. He checked the kitchen, the hot springs, the living room and all of the other rooms since she likes to explore the house. He made it to his room and he heard the shower running, and heard Samui moaning out his name. Lemon. He entered the bathroom, took his clothes off and snuck up behind her in the shower. She was fingering herself in the shower and he reached around her and cupped her breasts, massaging them and pinching her nipples, making them hard. You just couldn't wait for me, huh? He whispered in her ear, sending a jolt of pleasure down her spine. He started to kiss her neck, making her moan out even louder. I just couldn't help myself. I was feeling horny after you left and decided to take a shower. I've been in here for an hour thinking about you while fingering myself, she said through her moans. She reached her free hand behind her and started to jerk his dick while he let go of one of her breasts and started to rub her clit. She started to yell out his name, begging him to rub faster. You like that? Want me to make you come? Tell me what you want, Samui-chan, he whispered in her ear, slowly rubbing her clit and pinching her nipple. I want you to make me come, she said, feeling her insides tighten up on her fingers. Beg for it, he said, rubbing her clit slower and slower. Please, Naruto, make me fucking come. I need it, please, she exclaimed. She started to jerk him off faster and he moaned in her ear. Your wish is my command, Samui-chan, he said, and rubbed her pussy faster and faster, making her scream. Oh shit, don't stop. Please don't stop. I'm almost there. Naruto-kun, please don't stop, she yelled, and he sped up, and all of a sudden she came all over both their hands and her legs. He lifted his fingers to his mouth and tasted it. "You taste good, Samui-chan," he said, and she took his fingers and tasted herself as well and moaned. She bent forward and guided his dick to her entrance. "Fuck me, please, Naruto, I need it. Please, I'm ready for it. Just take that dick and shove it in my ah." She was cut off when Naruto pushed his dick all the way in, using one quick motion, making her come again. He started off slow and gradually picked up speed till the sound of skin slapping skin was heard. "Oh shit, Naruto, I'm about to come again. I feel it coming. Go harder, go faster, make me scream," she said, and he picked up the pace, adding chakra to his hips and his dick. This sent her over the edge after 5 hard thrusts. "Ah, oh shit, I'm coming," she yelled as her juices squirted all over his dick, and he didn't stop. He started smacking her on her ass, making her yell out his name. "Shit, it feels so fucking good, Naruto-kun," she said. Her legs started to feel weak and she couldn't stand anymore. "Shit, I'm about to come, Samui-chan. Where do you want it?" he asked, giving her short yet fast and hard thrusts. "In my mouth, I want it in my mouth," she said. After a few more thrusts, he pulled out and turned around and got on her knees. She put his dick in her mouth and began to bob her head up and down on the head of his dick. She felt him twitch and knew he was about to come. She reached both hands up, using one to jerk him off and the other to play with his balls. "Oh shit, here I come," he said, and he exploded in her mouth. It was so much that some of it leaked out and fell on her breasts. After he finished coming, she sucked his dick for 5 more minutes, making him come again. She pulled him out of her mouth with a popping sound. She wiped the cum that fell out of her mouth and onto her breast with her fingers and put it in her mouth. She stood up and gave him a passionate kiss, which he returned. "And lemon. Holy shit, that was intense. I can't feel my legs, Naruto-kun," Samui said. "Yeah, I know. Next time will be even better. I'm putting you to sleep next time," Naruto said, grabbing the soap so they can both was up. "I'm looking forward to it. Next time I want to just ride you. That dick of yours is magical. I can't believe you waited for me. I almost caved in one time almost 2 years ago before Kami froze time and talked to me," she said, running her hand over his dick. "Yeah, I almost gave around that time and Kami talked to me as well," Naruto said, lathering them both up with soap before they rinsed off and got out the shower. They dried off and put clothes on Naruto, just out on some boxers and sweatpants, while Samui put on one of Naruto's shirts and a pair of panties. They laid down and Samui snuggled into his chest and he wrapped an arm around her. "Naruto-kun, can I tell you something?" Samui asked. "You can tell me anything, Samui-chan," Naruto responded. "I'm scared about the Kage summit. The Raikage will do anything to get me back. He was almost aggressive when I declined the missions to sleep with him. He tried to rape me one time. I was returning from a mission. I managed to stab him before he could touch my breasts or anything. He just held me by my throat against the wall, telling me I was a kunoichi under his command that had no choice but to like what he would do. I got a kunai out and stabbed him in the chest. Every time I had a mission I would send a lightning clone just in case. I don't want him to take me from you. I just got you back and I don't ever want to lose you. Promise me he won't get me. Promise me that you will protect me," she said, crying her eyes out. "I promise, Samui-chan, I won't let anything bad happen to you. Anybody tries anything, I'll kick their ass," he said and placed his hand on her lower back. "I just marked you with my Hiraition seal. If you're ever in trouble or just want to see me, just channel chakra to the seal on your lower back and I'll be there before you can blink," he said. She nodded and got out of the bed and walked to the door. She turned around and channeled chakra to the seal, and sure enough, before she blinked he was right next to her. "Just making sure," she said, sniffling, wiping away her tears. He grabbed her hand and walked back to the bed. "Come on, let's go to sleep," he said. She nodded and laid with her back to him. He came up from behind her and wrapped a hand underneath her and the other over the top of her. She snuggled her back into his chest and held his hand. He smiled and kissed her on the back of the head, and they both let sleep claim them. Samui woke up the next morning, and Naruto was gone, but he left a letter saying he had to talk to Tsunade about something important and that he would see her later to take her out shopping. She smiled at the thought of shopping in Kumo. Despite her being cold to everyone, she enjoyed shopping, but she always used a henge to go so nobody would recognize her. She got out the bed and decided to use his training grounds and train until he came back. Naruto reached Tsunade's office and went through the office. "Granny, I need a favor," he said. "What would that be?" she asked. "I need that eye taken from Kakashi. I need to check something, and if I'm right, the Akatsuki will be no more," he said seriously, and she unsealed the eye and handed the tube to Naruto, who checked the chakra signature in the eye. He found Kakashi's, of course, but the second one belonged to Tobi. However, Naruto, doing this, figured out Tobi's actual identity. He just smirked. "Why are you smirking?" she asked. "I know who the man in the mask is," he said, shocking her. "Who is it?" she asked. "Do you know who gave Kakashi this eye?" he asked, and she nodded. "Yeah, he got it from his teammate Obito Uchiha, who died on a mission after being buried under some rocks. What does that have to do with anything?" she answered. "Did you know that an implanted sharingan can't access the Mangekyu stage unless the original owner is alive to unlock it?" he said, and she understood what he was saying. "Obito never died," she said. No, but I do believe he has had contact with Madara Uchiha. Kurama told me that during the fight with Hashirama, Madara bit off some of his skin and fled before he could be defeated. So what if Madara somehow managed to heal Obito with Hashirama's cells, and while also healing himself with them, expanding his life just a little bit longer, and training Obito to collect the tailed beasts for him? Naruto said. It makes sense, but how would Obito unlock the Mangekyou Sharingan? She asked. The only reason I can come up with is he must have seen Kakashi kill his teammate Rin. Naruto said. So what should we do now? She asked him. Making plans wasn't really her area of expertise. Nothing. We go to the 5 Kage summit, he will most likely show up and demand us to hand over the remaining tailed beasts. Naturally all the cages will decline and he will declare war knowing him. I'll give him his eye back, but I'll place a small exploding seal on the eye with enough power to kill him. Sasuke will most likely be with him, so will his team. Samui told me about the Uzumaki girl who was with him. We can take her, I'll absorb her into my pocket dimension. I'll take on Sasuke myself and end him. He's done too much killing as a rogue ninja to be left alive. One thing we should worry about is the Raikage. Since we have Samui and she told us how he is, he may declare war on us, and Iwa will most likely join him because of their hatred of my father. Suna is our ally, and Mist will probably stay neutral since they just got out of a civil war. Naruto said. Tsunade thought about it for a minute. It was a good idea except for one problem. How the hell are you going to put an exploding seal on his eye? He will see it if he checks the eye with his sharingan, she said. I'm a seal master, you don't think I can't make a seal unable to be seen by the sharingan? I've done it already. Sometimes the way a seal looks is ugly to me and I don't want to look at it. I'll know it's there but I won't be able to see it even with my sharingan activated. He said, and she raised an eyebrow at him. Don't judge me. He said, and she just laughed at him. So how are you and Samui doing? She asked. We're great. I never really realized how much I missed her until I held her in my arms. Is that how you feel with Pervy Sage? He asked. Yeah, it's like that. Sometimes you miss your partner so much you just want to cuddle with them and nothing else, she said with a faraway look on her face. I know I wanted to leave this morning, and in her sleep she has a strong grip. I had to use my Kamui to get her off of me. But given what she's been through in Kumo, I don't blame her for being clingy to me. I better get going. I promised to take her shopping today. I'll see you in 2 days when we leave. He said and hugged her goodbye. He arrived home and Samui was sitting on the couch. He walked up to her and gave her a kiss. Are you ready to go shopping, Samui-chan? He asked as she nodded and dragged him out of the house. Just like Anko, Ayame and Kurenai, she got a lot of stuff. Ninja clothes, civilian clothes, fancy dresses and some jewelry. He noticed her taking an extra amount of time staring at the engagement rings. He already had one better than what the store had. She got lots of shoes and plenty of bras and panties as well as some lingerie that she didn't let him see. They ran into Kurenai and Anko who were going baby shopping. Kurenai was having a girl and was buying a lot of girl things. Anko didn't know but she wanted a girl as well, so for now she just bought small stuff like diapers, wipes and bottles. They made it home and just ate and watched the Princess Gale movie series. They didn't want to do much. Samui fell asleep with her head in his lap and she looked cold. Naruto turned the TV off and carried her bridal style up to the room and laid her down on the bed. He put his pajamas on and as soon as he laid down on the bed she grabbed him and cuddled into him and let out a content sigh. He smiled at this and gave her a kiss on the forehead and a small smile appeared on her face. Naruto eventually let sleep claim him. 2 days later, Tsunade, Naruto and Samui are standing at the village gates. They are about to leave for Iron Country until a group of civilians and ninja came to see them off. Take care of Hokage-sama, Naruto. Have a safe trip, guys. Don't be gone too long, we still need a leader. Naruto-kun will miss you. This was from a group of civilian fangirls that managed to sneak up on him and give him a group hug and managed to plant kisses on his cheeks. How the hell did they get past my sensing ability, he thought. He looked at Samui who was glaring at him. He just gave her an apologetic look. He substituted himself with Kiba, who was in the middle of the group that came to see them off. He used the Hiraishin and appeared next to Samui, who gave him a cold look. I'm sleeping on the floor tonight? He asked. She didn't answer and just turned away. Yeah, I'm sleeping on the floor, he thought. Alright, we're heading out. While I'm gone, Shizune will be in charge. I want Elder Homaru to be her guide while I'm away. We should be back in a few days. Naruto, summon Niji so we can leave. Tsunade said. He nodded and summoned Niji. Naruto, I swear if you summon me to go back to the desert, I'm going to crush you. Hokage-sama, nice to be in your presence again, I am honored. Niji said. What the hell, dude, I'm your summoner, not her. Why does she get the respect? Naruto asked. Because she doesn't send me into the damn desert when I'm around. Niji said. Oh yeah, well she's sending you to Iron Country. We have a meeting there and it's filled with snow. Naruto said. You do realize I love the snow, right? Every time you visit the Dragon World I'm always in the snow mountains. Hokage-sama, I wish you were my summoner instead. Hop on, we've got to get to Iron Country. Niji said. They got on his back and he took off. Naruto was in the back pouting the entire ride. On the way Tsunade spotted Gaara and his siblings. She asked Neji if he could give them a ride as well to Iron Country and he agreed. This made Naruto pout even more. "So Lady Tsunade, who's the new girl? I've never seen her in your village before," Temari asked. "This is Samui, a new kunoichi that should have been a leaf shinobi this entire time. She was taken to Kumo by her father who hated Naruto. He was in such a rush that he never took her name off of the Ninja Academy roster, and due to the civilian council running the school they kept giving her passing grades, and she graduated along with Naruto's group. So that makes whatever she did in Kumo null and void by law. She's also Naruto's girlfriend." Tsunade said. "Well, it's about time you got a girlfriend, Naruto. I mean, hell, the way Yukata was all on you, I thought you two were dating," Kankuro said, not realizing he was putting Naruto in more trouble than he already was. "Who is Yukata? I've never heard of her before," Samui said. "Oh, she's like Naruto's biggest fan. I mean, he was in Suna about 2 years ago, and I heard she dragged him into a closet one day. I don't know what happened in there, but the people that told me said they heard a lot of screaming and banging around in there," Kankuro answered. "She met him through my girlfriend Matsuri. She introduced him one day. She was eager to meet the one person to do direct damage to me. Even though our exchange in the Chunin exams wasn't an actual fight, I still count it as a loss. Ever since then she's been after him, however it seems she's lost since he has you," Gaara said, not really helping Naruto's situation. "Is that so? He's never told me any of this. The only girls I've heard about was Sakura, and a couple of his civilian fangirls in Konoha," Samui said. "Konoha, that's all you've heard? He has fangirls everywhere. Hell, he has been offered numerous contracts for marriage and some of them were tempting. I could see it in his face. I think he almost accepted 2 of them but declined in the end," Kankuro said. At this point Samui had a full-on glare at Naruto. Naruto bit his thumb and went through hand signs and summoned Shadow. "What's up, Naruto? Why am I here when you have Neji?" he asked. "I need a lift to Iron Country," Naruto said. "Aw, but I hate the snow." "Fine, but you owe me a lot of fish." Naruto nodded and hopped on Shadow, who flew off faster than Neji was going since he liked to enjoy his traveling time and flew at a fast yet steady pace. "Why'd he leave?" Kankuro asked. "Well, you've been talking so much you never noticed the glare Samui was giving him. I'm guessing he was already in trouble and you've made it worse, you big dummy," Temari said. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll be fine," Kankuro said. "Don't count on it," Tsunade said, seeing the cold look on Samui's face. They arrived at Iron Country, but Neji said it wouldn't be a good idea for him to just show up, so he landed about a mile from the entrance of the village they went to for the meeting. Samui was quiet due to being mad at Naruto and not really knowing the new shinobi. However, she did like Temari. It was nice to have another girl in the group. "So Samui, how long have you known Naruto?" Temari asked. "I've known him since we were kids. If I had to guess, I'd say we were 6 when we met," she replied. "That's so cute. You've been separated for so long and you found each other late on in life. It's like one of those romance novels I've read before," Temari said. "You read romance novels? Wow, Temari, there goes your tough girl image. Wait until I tell everybody in Suna about this," Kankuro said, laughing until he was knocked out by Temari hitting him over the head with her fan. Gaara saw this and simply used his sand to carry Kankuro. They reached the village where the meeting would take place and went their separate ways since they had different hotels. Tsunade and Samui arrived at their hotel and went to check in. "Tsunade send you checking in for the Kage Summit. 2 rooms, please," Tsunade said to the receptionist. "Ah yes, one of your guards already checked in for you. He has a smaller room with a single bed. You have the bigger room with 2 beds. Here is your key for your room on the 2nd floor, room 203. Enjoy your stay," the young receptionist said and handed Tsunade 2 room keys. "Thank you," Tsunade said and motioned for Samui to follow her. They went up to the room and it was indeed big. It had 1 bed outside and inside another room was the other bed. "If I had known this is what the 2-bed hotel room looked like, I would have just booked 1 room," Tsunade said. "Yeah, this is pretty big. I don't think the hotels in Konoha are this nice," Samui said. "Samui, maybe you should go find Naruto. His room is down the hall. Remind him that the meeting is tomorrow at 12 p.m., Tsunade said. "I don't really want to be near him right now. Can you send a slug summons, please?" Samui asked. "Fine, but you'll have to talk to him eventually. You can't avoid him forever," Tsunade said as she sent a slug summon to tell Naruto about the meeting. It appeared back 5 minutes later saying the message was delivered. Tsunade thanked the slug and it went back home. Tsunade and Samui stayed up all day talking and ordered room service. They went to sleep at 8 p.m. They wanted to be up early for the meeting. Meanwhile, Naruto was at a bar. He took off his leaf headband and was drinking when a girl he could tell was a kunoichi from Iwa walked up and sat next to him. He was wearing regular civilian clothing, so she didn't know he was a shinobi. "Hey there, handsome," she said. "What do you want?" he asked. "Well, somebody's grumpy. The name is Kurotsuchi," she said. "Naruto," he said. "So what are you doing here, Naruto?" Kurotsuchi asked. "Drinking. What does it look like I'm doing?" he asked sarcastically. "No, I mean, what are you doing in Iron Country? Do you live here?" she asked. No, I'm just visiting for a few days, he said. Me too. I have a stupid meeting to go to with my grandfather. He's the third Tsuchikage, by the way, she said. Good for him, was all Naruto said. You don't care that he's my grandfather? She asked, shocked. No, am I supposed to care? I don't even know him, Naruto said. Well, you should. Plus you're looking at the soon-to-be fourth Tsuchikage, she said proudly. Yay, he said. You're rude, you know that. I like you. How about we spend the next few days getting to know each other? Kurotsuchi said. Sorry, but it won't work between us, Naruto said. Why not? Wait, you have a girlfriend or something? She asked. Yeah, something like that. Plus you're not my type. You're brash, cocky. I can tell you're a loudmouth brat that boasts about being the granddaughter of the Tsuchikage, expecting everyone to kneel before you, Naruto said. They should kneel before me. I'm from royalty. That alone makes me better than most people. Plus I don't see a ring on your finger, so you're still available, and when I see something I want, I take it, she said, scooting closer to him. Like I said, you're not my type. He got up and left. He felt a certain chakra signature close by. He walked up behind a red-haired girl who he knew was Karin Uzumaki and absorbed her into his pocket dimension. Inside the Kamui. Where the hell am I? Karin said. You're in my pocket dimension, Naruto said from behind her, causing her to turn around. Let me out. This is kidnapping. What are you going to do? Rape me? I don't think you'll like the end results, she said. That infamous Uzumaki temper, it's funny, he said, and she froze. I don't know what you're talking about, she said. Relax, I already know who you are. I took your file from Orochimaru's lab. You're Karin Uzumaki, he said, and she got scared. Why are you after me? I didn't do anything. Stay away from me. She yelled and sent a chakra chain at him, but he just dodged it. I'm not here to capture you. Actually, I am, but in a good way, he said, and pulled out the Uzumaki tracking seal. She immediately calmed down but kept her guard up. How do you have that? She asked. My godmother Kushina Uzumaki left me all of the Uzumaki sealing scrolls and I found it. I activated the tracker seal 2 times. I'm sure you felt your seal heat up on your body. She nodded. You know Lady Kushina, is she still alive? My mother told me I was to find her and stay with her before Orochimaru killed her and kidnapped me, Karin said, crying. No, she died the day I was born. The man in that mask that claims to be Madara Uchiha killed her, he said, and she froze. He's the one Sasuke has us working for. I tried to save Sasuke from the darkness, but he is too far gone now, she said. He wants to attack the 5 Kage summit and kill Danzo. He was responsible for the Uchiha massacre. But if he kills Danzo, I know he won't stop there. He might come after the entire Leaf Village, she told him. But back to the seal, how did you activate it? Only somebody that mastered the first 4 levels of Uzumaki sealing and has Uzumaki blood can activate it, Karin said. Okay, the Uzumaki blood thing, I did not know. She didn't write that in her note for me, but I did master all of the levels of Uzumaki sealing. My Uzumaki blood comes from my father's side of the family. He got it from his mother, he said. You're an Uzumaki? You don't have the red hair or temper. I bet you can't even use the chakra chains or the mind's eye sensing ability, Karin said. Actually, I have Uzumaki blood from my grandmother. She's the granddaughter of Mito Uzumaki. I may not have the red hair, temper, or chakra chains, but I can use the sensing ability and have the dense chakra. My hair isn't red because my mother was an Uchiha and my father had blonde spiky hair, Naruto said. So you come from the Senju and Uchiha line? She asked. Yes, I do. Now would you like to come back to Konoha with me? I already have the other Uzumaki living there. Her name is Tayuya. If you come, you already have a house waiting for you, he said. I would, but I can't get away from Sasuke and that masked man. Even if I somehow manage to get away, they have this little plant thing called Zetsu who travels underground and can find me. I'm stuck with them until I die, basically. Besides, I'm a freak. I have bite marks on me from healing people due to my heal bite ability, she said, showing him her arms and legs. Why don't you just use the healing chakra throughout your body to heal yourself and get rid of the bite marks? He asked. She just stood there staring at him with a blank face. She started smacking herself. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Why didn't I think of that? She said, and used her healing chakra to heal herself and the bite marks disappeared. Wow, it worked. But how am I going to get out of the reach of the masked man and his spy? She asked. Don't worry, I've got it covered. Just show up at the Kage summit like you planned to and stay out of the way. Once you are clear, try to find Tsunade Senju during the commotion. She's the 5th Hokage. Tell her you're the last one, she'll understand what you mean. If you can't get to her, then stay hidden. I'll give you a copy of my key to my hotel room. Go there and I'll have a privacy seal over the room so nobody can find you. I'm sure that Zetsu guy won't be able to follow you since he stays with that fake Madara. I'll return to the room and find you after everything. Then you can come back to Konoha with us, he said. Thank you so much, she said, and hugged him. I'm going to let you out, just act normal, he said. She nodded and he took them both out of the dimension. Now just remember to act normal at the Kage summit. I'll tell Tsunade about you being here. Karen nodded and left. He felt Toby coming to this location, so he masked his presence and hid. 2 minutes later Toby appeared. I thought the Kyuubi Jinchuriki was here, he said. Well, if it isn't the so-called Madara Uchiha, Naruto said, causing the man to turn around, but he didn't see anybody. I am Madara Uchiha, now show yourself, don't hide like last time, Toby said. Now why would I do that? Like I said last time, this way is much more fun. Madara wouldn't get this worked up over a voice, which proves you aren't him. Besides, we both know who you are. It's a shame, really, how both the men of Team 7 turned out to be nothing but scum. Rin would be disappointed in both of you. With that, Naruto vanished. Who is he and how does he know about Rin? Toby asked himself before leaving in a vortex. Naruto went back to the bar since they closed at midnight, and he still had almost 2 hours before they closed. He kept drinking and multiple women tried to get him into their home, but he respectfully declined them all. He noticed Kurotsuchi was still there, but now she was with an older guy from Iwa. She noticed him and gave him a glare. He just looked away from her to grab another drink. Who are you glaring at, Kurotsuchi? The man asked. Nobody, Akatsuchi, don't worry about it, she said. Akatsuchi just shrugged before finishing his drink and leaving. Kurotsuchi left soon after. Naruto kept drinking, but due to his healing ability he didn't get drunk. The man at the bar told him it was closing time. Naruto paid for his drinks and bought 2 bottles of sake and returned to his hotel room. He stayed up until about 2 a.m. before finally going to sleep. He woke up at 11 a.m. and searched for Tsunade's chakra signature, and she was already gone to the meeting building, and Samui was with her. He got out of bed, took a shower, and got dressed in his usual jonin attire and put his headband on. He looked in the mirror and couldn't help but smile at how much he looked like his father. He unsealed the Kubikiribocho and decided to wear it on his back. He put a magnetic seal on the back of his jonin vest that the Kubikiribocho would stick to. He looked at the clock. He had 5 minutes until the meeting started. He used the Hiraishin seal he placed on Tsunade to get to her. Tsunade, send you 5th Hokage of Konoha with my guard Samui, Tsunade said to the samurai, acting as a guard to the meeting room. You're supposed to have 2 guards. Where is the other one? The samurai asked. Tsunade was about to speak, but Naruto appeared at her side. I'm right here. I woke up late. Sorry about that, he said. It's fine, you may enter, the samurai said and opened the door. Tsunade entered and took her seat, placing her Kage hat on the table. Naruto and Samui went into the shadows behind her. Naruto looked around and saw all of the cages and their bodyguards for the meeting. Then a man walks in and samurai are posted all around the room. Greeting, cages of the 5 great nations, I am Mifune, leader of Iron Country. Please introduce yourselves and your bodyguards, Mifune said. Gaara, 5th Kazekage, my bodyguards today for this meeting are Temari and Kankuro. Gaara said as Temari and Kankuro stepped forward. Mei Terumi, 5th Mizukage, my bodyguards today for this meeting are Chojuro and Ao. Mei said as Chojuro and Ao stepped forward. Chojuro has short tufty blue hair and dark eyes. He also has pointed, shark-like teeth, a common trait of the members of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist as well as apprentices share. He wears square black-rimmed glasses connected to ear protectors, a blue pinstripe shirt, and camouflage pattern pants. He wore his forehead protector on the front of his holster, which he uses to carry his sword called Hira Mekari. The sword itself is wrapped in bandages, leaving only the double hilt visible. Ao was a middle-aged man with blue hair which is styled in a moused-up manner. His left eye was blue and his right eye was covered with an eye patch, under which he concealed the Byakugan that he obtained from a Hyuga clan member he defeated. He wore a talisman in each ear with the kanji for a humble form of Tahir written on them twice on each side. He also wore the standard striped gray suit with a green hari that had white trimmings that stop halfway down over them. Mei herself wore a long-sleeved dark blue dress that fell just below the knees. It was closed at the front with a zipper, and is kept open on the front right side from the waist down. The dress covers up to the upper part of her arms and the underside of her breasts. Underneath she wears a mesh armor that covers slightly more of her upper body than her dress. She also wears a skirt the same color as her dress, and underneath those mesh leggings reaching down over her knees. Around her waist, she wore a belt with a pouch attached to the back on the left, along with high-heeled sandals, shin guards reaching up over her knees, dark blue nail polish on her fingers and toes, and wears fuchsia lipstick. She has green eyes and ankle-length auburn hair styled into a herringbone pattern at the back, a top knot tied with a dark blue band, and with 4 bangs at the front. 2 bangs are short with one covering her right eye, and 2 are long crossing each other on her bust, just below her chin. A the 4th Reikage, my bodyguards today for this meeting are C and Darui. A said as C and Darui stepped forward. C had dark eyes and short blonde hair which he wears parted in the front. He wears the standard attire of the Kumo Nin, a sleeveless black shirt with a white flak jacket worn by Kumo shinobi, black forehead protector, black elbow-length arm guards, and the red and white Kumogakura shin guards along with a pair of sandals. Darui has shaggy white hair which covers his left eye. He wears a high-collared sleeveless uniform with loose-fitting pants, bandages on his wrists and the flak jacket of a Kumo shinobi. A has blonde hair combed back, a small mustache and goatee. He wore a white hari without a shirt underneath. He has black Fuma shuriken tattoos on both shoulders and originally wore large golden braces on his wrists. He also wears a gold belt around his waist with a boar's face engraved in the center, black pants with torn ends, Kumo nin shin guards and shinobi sandals. Onoki 3rd Tsuchikage. My bodyguards today for this meeting are Kurotsuchi and Akatsuchi, Onoki said as Kurotsuchi and Agutsuchi stepped forward. Onoki was a short old man with a triangular beard and a mustache that had angular corners, a big red nose and thick eyebrows. The top of his head was completely bald, although he had long white hair on the lower half of his head which is styled in a traditional chonmage haircut, the back of which was tied with a yellow ribbon into a top knot. Onoki wore a green and yellow coat with a red collar. Underneath he wore the traditional Iwagakure outfit consisting of a light green version of Iwagakure's flak jacket and mesh armor. He however had both the sleeves of his shirt but kept the single lapel on his right side. Along with this he wore sandals. Kurotsuchi has short black hair and black eyes which are accentuated by her eyelashes running upwards at the corners. She wears the standard attire of the IWA nin, consisting of a red uniform with her right sleeve missing, and a lapel over her right leg, the brown Iwagakure flak jacket, fishnet tights, and a skirt over them. She also wears regular shinobi sandals and a pair of gloves. Akatsuchi is a large man, with dark eyes and black hair that spikes out at the back from underneath his bandana-styled forehead protector. He has large cheeks and a plump nose which give him an overall look of constant joviality. He wears the red Iwagakure uniform which has both its sleeves, underneath his flak jacket, and accentuates it with a yellow scarf which he wraps around his neck. Tsunade Senju 5th Hokage. My bodyguards today for this meeting are Naruto, Namikaze and Samui, she said as Naruto and Samui stepped forward. What? Onoki, A and Kurotsuchi all yelled together. Something the matter? Mifune asked, not really understanding what the yelling is for. Kurotsuchi went first. I met this leaf scum at the bar last night. She said Naruto got a glare from Tsunade and Samui for different reasons. He is the spawn of that Namikaze, Onoki said while adding venom to the Namikaze name. Samui is a jonin of Kumo and now she is a Konoha shinobi. Then she has the nerve to actually bring a Namikaze to this meeting as her bodyguard. Samui, I demand you come over here right now or I'll have you killed on the spot. Said. Sorry Reikage Dono, but Samui is an official jonin of Konoha. When she moved to Kumo her father never took her name off of the Ninja Academy roster. Due to the fact that the civilian council managed to run the Ninja Academy during the 3rd Hokage's reign, they boosted the grades of all of the civilian kids and passed her. She graduated from the Leaf Ninja Academy with Naruto's group. Law states you cannot be enrolled in 2 different schools. Since the Leaf Academy was her first school, she has always been a Leaf shinobi. So that makes all missions and anything else she did in Kumo null and void. Tsunade said, and A didn't like this. C kill Samui, she is a traitor. C charged at Samui, but was flung into the wall with the tip of the Kubikirbocho at his neck. He looked up and saw Naruto staring at him with his sharingan activated. Do you wish to die? If not, I suggest you not make any aggressive action towards us, or you and your Kage will die. Can you please tell Ao to deactivate that stolen Byakugan of his and hand it over to me before I rip it out myself? Naruto asked and Mei looked at Ao. You heard him. Deactivate the eye and remove it. Hokage Dono, do you mind healing my bodyguard's eye? Mei asked and Tsunade nodded. She walked up to Ao who removed his eye patch and had Tsunade remove the eye and heal him. She handed the eye to Naruto and he sealed it away. Mifune stood up and spoke. Stand down, this was supposed to be a peaceful meeting. Cages, order all of your shinobi back now. He exclaimed and all the cages nodded to their bodyguards and everybody went back to their respective areas. Mizukage-sama, since I returned the eye, he has to return the sword. Ao said he was pissed off that he had to give up that eye. No he doesn't, that sword only lets a select few hold it, and Naruto is one of those few. By the way, good to see you again Naruto, you've grown into a lovely young man. I wouldn't mind another game of me chasing you. Mei said in a seductive voice, licking her lips. I'm doing fine Mei, thanks for asking. I see you still look as lovely as last time. He said this got him a glare from Samui again. As for the game I have to decline but thanks for the offer, he said. How dare you call Lady Mizukage by her name, show some respect. Ao said. Ao shut up or I'll kill you. Mei said in a calm voice with a sweet smile on her face. Ao wisely shut up and backed away. Enough, A yelled. We're here to discuss the Akatsuki. They are made up of shinobi from all of your villages. A said. You've all had something to do with them. Kiri was run by the Akatsuki. Iwa has used them for missions in the past and the Leaf and Sand have had members from their village join in the ranks. Sand even worked with the Akatsuki. A said. It's true Kiri was being led by the Akatsuki. The fourth Mizukaido Yagura was being controlled by a man in a mask with a sharingan. I found his journal he wrote before he was under his control, but me personally I have not used the Akatsuki at all, and I've been rebuilding my village since I took over trying to fix the mistakes of my predecessor, Mei said. Iwa only hired them for basic mercenary jobs our shinobi did not want to do. Back then they were just a normal group looking to make money. I saw no harm in hiring them, Onoki said. Sand has never worked with the Akatsuki, so I have no idea what you were talking about, Ga replies. Orochimaru is known to have been a member of the Akatsuki. Your father was working with him for the Konoha invasion, replied. Well, your sources must suck at their job. It was well known that Suna aided Konoha in the invasion, and my father was ambushed by Orochimaru and killed because he refused to invade Konoha, Gaara replied. Konoha had 3 members in the Akatsuki, and 2 are dead. At least we've been fighting the Akatsuki. I've reached out to every village to help take them down. I've only heard back from Suna, who agreed, and Kiri, who had to decline, due to them having just finished a civil war, and needed to rebuild. Iwa flat out refused, since they just basically gave away their Jinchuriki. Kumo, you only called this meeting because your brother was captured. You didn't even lift a finger when your female Jinchuriki was captured, so don't act like you really care. Naruto is responsible for the death of basically every Akatsuki member except Itachi, who died in his fight with his brother, and Kisame, who nobody has seen yet. Only 3 members remain alive: the man in the mask, Kisame, and this plant thing called Zetsu, Tsunade said before anybody could respond. Naruto jumped forward and punched through the floor and yanked Zetsu out of the floor. Everyone was shocked at how fast Naruto moved, and that he detected this plant thing. Naruto has Zetsu by the neck, choking him. Why are you here? He asked. He already knew but wanted Zetsu to tell him. Sasuke Uchiha is here in the building. He said Naruto knew where he was already but was waiting for Karen to hide. Where is he? Yelled at Zetsu. Thanks for the information, you're no longer needed, Naruto said. Wait, Zetsu yelled, but Naruto sliced his head off with the Kubikiri Bocho. Unknown to him or the others, millions of Zetsu clones all around the shinobi nation collapsed. He's so ruthless, Tamari thought. I want to be strong like him, Chojuro thought. Typical leaf scum, flashing their strength, Kurotsuchi thought. I must have him, Mei thought, licking her lips. What the fuck is your problem, boy? He was going to tell us where Sasuke is. I yelled at Naruto and activated his lightning armor and sped towards Naruto, but before he could get close a fist was in his gut, making him cough up blood. Now this had everybody other than the Suna and Leaf Ninja surprised. They thought A was the fastest shinobi alive. There's no need for that, he's been above us right when I pulled Zetsu out of the ground. Naruto said. Everyone looked at Sasuke, who was on the ceiling upside down, staring at Tsunade with his sharingan active. Tsunade just stared back calmly at him. Where's Danzo? Sasuke asked. He's dead, Tsunade said. Fine, then I guess I'll have to kill you instead of him, Sasuke said, but before he could react A activates his lightning armor and punches Sasuke into a wall. Before he could react, Naruto spoke. Hey, let me handle this. This is Leaf business. Besides, if you want your brother, he's still alive. The Akatsuki can't seal any Jinchuriki. They don't have enough members. If they wanted to seal the 8 tails, it would take too long, and they wouldn't be done anytime soon, since it would only be 3 people doing the sealing process instead of 90R10. So go find him, Naruto said. Very well, you can take him, I said almost immediately, but took a quick glance at Samui, who noticed and tensed. Thanks, Naruto said, not catching the glance since he was busy staring at Sasuke, who had his Mangekyu active. So when did you unlock it? Naruto said. When I found out the truth about Itachi, Sasuke said. That's interesting, however you came here too early with those eyes. I can tell you haven't perfected them, Naruto said. I have more than enough power now. Since I killed Itachi, I'm stronger than a Kage. I'll kill you first, and then kill that bitch of a Hokage, Sasuke said. You didn't kill Itachi, he basically committed suicide fighting you. He was already dying when you fought him. He had an incurable disease that was killing him. He was performing at possibly less than half of his full strength, and yet you still struggled. You're not strong enough to take on a Kage. You may have the Mangekyou Sharingan, but I have the complete version of it, Naruto said as he activated his eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. I'll still kill you, Sasuke said. Amaterasu. Sasuke sent black flames at Naruto, who simply absorbed them into his pocket dimension. He sped in front of Sasuke and punched him in the gut. He activated his Kamui, sending Sasuke's Amaterasu flames back at him. Sasuke, not expecting this, got hit by the flames and screamed out in pain before canceling out the flames. He charged at Naruto with his Chokuto covered in lightning chakra and swung at Naruto's head. He ducked and grabbed the sword with his hand and redirected the lightning through his body to his hand, making it turn red. Naruto felt somebody come up from behind him and shot the lightning chakra at him. It was some idiot who turned his body into water and was electrocuted to death as he evaporated. Everyone was shocked by what Naruto just did. How did he redirect lightning like that? C asked. I don't know, but the lightning turned red after it was released from his body. Darui said, he's strong. I wonder if he's still single. Perhaps this time he can see more than just my breasts. Mei said now this pissed Samui off big time before she could glare. The Raikage grabbed her from behind and put his hand over her mouth. I told you, you belong to Kumo. Now I'm taking you back and will learn to obey me. He said she was so scared that she almost forgot about the seal on her lower back. She channeled chakra to it, hoping Naruto would respond. Naruto, who was in the middle of using Sasuke's face as a punching bag, felt the pull and noticed Samui was gone. He disappeared and found the Raikage dragging her away. He kicked him in the face and sent a chakra-enhanced punch to him, sending him back into the meeting room through a wall. Samui clenched onto Naruto and was shaking. He just held her and teleported back to Tsunade's side. Keep her safe from me, he told her. She nodded. Samui didn't want to let go but reluctantly did. Naruto stood and looked at Sasuke, who was surrounded by a purple rib cage, but he could tell it was causing him pain. Naruto teleported to the Hiraishin seal he placed on Sasuke when he punched him in the gut. Sasuke was surprised Naruto got in the ribcage but was even more shocked when Naruto summoned his 2ND stage Susanoo, and it broke through his easily. Naruto dropped the Susanoo, picked Sasuke up and threw him against the wall. He summoned a lightning javelin to his hand and threw it at Sasuke. It stabbed him in the shoulder, making him scream out in pain again. He was about to kill him when he had to duck out of the way from a fist from a deranged orange-haired guy. Half of his skin was gray, and his arm looked like an axe. Naruto decided to end it quickly. With him he kicked him. And when he stood up he threw a lightning javelin through his head and rammed a lightning edge through his heart, killing him brutally. Sasuke stood up and charged Naruto from behind and sent a punch at the back of Naruto's head, but he didn't flinch. Instead he phased away, and Sasuke realized he was in a genjutsu. He broke it, and only saw a wall coming up in front of him. Naruto has him by the back of his head and just bashed his face into the wall. He dropped Sasuke to the ground and paused to search for Karin. He felt her reach the hotel, then a minute later he knew she activated the barrier. He smirked at this. Now even if Tobi managed to get Sasuke he couldn't heal him. Sasuke stood up and Naruto ran up to him. He covered his hand in chakra and ripped out Sasuke's right eye. He yelled as he held his eye. You son of a bitch! He yelled at Naruto. Yeah, it's time for you to die, he said. Sasuke charged at him with the Chidori. He threw his hand forward at Naruto's heart, but Naruto did something unexpected. He grabbed his arm, jumped up to his neck and spun around, and before Sasuke could react Naruto had him on the ground in an armbar. Naruto did a quick movement and broke his arm at the elbow. Before Sasuke could do anything, Naruto shoved a giant Rasengan into his face until he died. Well, that's disappointing. Him and his team were needed for my plans. A voice said. Who said that? The Raikage asked, and a swirling vortex was seen at the end of the table near the wall, and out came a man in an orange mask. I did. My name is Madara Uchiha, the masked man said. That's impossible. Madara died long ago. Onoki said. That's because he isn't Madara, Naruto said. He's standing right there, you leaf scum, Kurotsuchi said. You're fucking stupid, and your Uchiha eyes must be failing if you can't see that he's right in front of you. Al said. Well, let's go over a few facts, shall we? Number 1, Madara didn't need to use a jutsu to make his voice deep. If you focus you can tell he is sending chakra to his vocal cords to make his voice deep. Fact number 2, Madara wouldn't wait until a man is dead to take something from him. He had to wait until Pain, the puppet head leader of the Akatsuki, was dead to get his Rinnegan, because he was scared to fight him when he was alive. The third and final reason as to why he isn't Madara Uchiha is a simple one. Madara was never trained by my father, he said, shocking everyone. What are you saying? Kankuro asked. I'm saying this guy is the crybaby of the Uchiha clan who couldn't get the girl of his dreams to marry him before she was killed by her other teammate. Naruto said. Wait, so he isn't Madara? Kurotsuchi asked. Ding ding ding, we have a winner. How long did it take you to figure that out, Boulder Brain? Was it after I gave my reasons to why he isn't Madara, you rockhead? Naruto asked. I am Madara Uchiha, and I am here too. Naruto cut him off. Dude, seriously, I just exposed you saying you aren't him. Why try to keep up the act? You want me to say your real name, don't you? Naruto said. I don't know what name you're talking about, Tobi said. Yes you do. No I don't. Yes you do. No I don't. Yes you do. No, I don't. Damn it, Naruto, just say his damn name or so help me I'll punch you into the sun. Tsunade yelled and Naruto pouted at her, making Mei giggle. Fine, just ruin my fun, you big meanie. He stuck his tongue out at her, which was the wrong thing to do because she uppercutted him out of the building and everyone looked up. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Is he going to come down anytime soon? Temari asked. Oh yeah, here he comes, Tsunade said, and sure enough Naruto came crashing down through the ceiling into the floor. He just stood up like nothing happened with no scratches or anything. What the hell, how isn't he hurt? Kankuro asked. We haven't figured that out yet. Naruto said, getting a sweat drop from everyone minus the Raikage and Tsuchikage, who were off in a corner quietly talking about something. Anyway, his name is Obito Uchiha, so just take the mask off, dude, your cover is blown. Naruto said, and Obito didn't remove his mask, just stood there in shock that his cover was blown. Alright, fine, let's make a deal. You take the mask off and I give you back something that belongs to you, Naruto said as he unsealed a tube of liquid with a sharingan eye in it. The previous owner turned into a disgrace. We decided he wasn't worthy enough to have this eye, however I'm sure the previous owner wouldn't mind if I gave it back to you. Naruto said he saw Obito's hand twitch and felt his sharingan activate. He was checking it for any traps. After 15 minutes of silence and Obito examining the eye Naruto had, he took off his mask. See, now that wasn't so hard, was it? Naruto said, and he tossed the tube with Obito's eye in it to him. Obito caught the tube and placed his eye back in and healed it. It's good to be whole again. Now the reason I am here is, Naruto cut him off. Actually, I have something to say to you. You killed my father, you killed my godmother, and because of you I lost my mother all on the night I was born. You tried to kill my godchild and you almost killed my sister figure's future husband. You think I didn't know you would come here? I planned on you coming here. He went through hand signs and the room glowed red before fading. What did you do, Naruto-san? Mifune asked. I've sealed the room so nobody gets out. That means Obito can't escape, and neither can his friend that is with him that thought he could hide in the ceiling. Naruto said. They all looked up and saw something black with a yellow eye with no sclera or pupils. What the hell is that? Mei asked. Nobody knows, but I'm glad it's here. You failed in your plan, Obito. You won't get the one-tailed beast, the 7 tails, 8 tails, and even if you somehow managed to get those 3 you would never get the 9 tails. I've gotten rid of it. He lifted his shirt and the ladies in the room blushed except Tsunade. As you can see, I no longer have a seal on me. Whatever plan you had in your mind has failed. Now, as I've said earlier, you killed my family when I was younger. I'm usually a nice guy. I gave you your eye back. However, I'm going to get revenge. You should never trust a seal master, especially one who can create seals that even the Sharingan can't detect. Naruto said. Obito was about to take his eye out, but it was too late. Naruto held up one hand sign and channeled some chakra, and the seal he placed on the eye exploded along with Obito's head. No, you ingrate, do you have any idea about what you've just done? You just ruined the plans for my mother Kaguya to return to Earth and rule you all. Black Zetsu said. Yeah, I don't care about that shit. Naruto said. He activated his eternal Mangekyou Sharingan and Zetsu made eye contact. Tsukuyomi. 3 seconds later Zetsu collapsed on the floor, but Naruto wasn't done yet. Amaterasu. He set the body of Black Zetsu on fire with the black flames, and Zetsu screamed as he was burned alive to nothing but ash. Naruto used a seal and cleaned the entire room so no dead bodies were around anymore. Well, this was an interesting meeting, he said. I'll say it was fun indeed, Naruto. It is never a dull moment with you. I can't wait to see your next move. However, I have one request for you. Mei said, and Naruto already didn't like it. What is it? Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to unzip my dress again. No, I just want you to lift your shirt for me again. That's all. I liked what I saw and wouldn't mind seeing it again, she said, licking her lips. He didn't even have to turn around to see the glare Samui was giving him. He could just feel it. No, sorry, I can't do that, Mei, he said. But you saw my breast before. It's only fair, she said as if it wasn't nothing. Mei, we both know that was an accident. I didn't know that was your room. I thought it was mine, he replied. However, he knew Samui was pissed. Yeah, I'm not getting any for at least 3 months from all she's heard the last 2 days, he thought. Okay, enough with the flirting or whatever is going on. Since the reason this meeting was called for anyway has been dealt with, I think if there are no more topics to discuss we can dismiss the meeting, Mifune said. Actually, there is one topic we feel needs to be brought up, Onoki said and nodded to A. Kumo and Iwa have joined forces and we declare war on Konoha. Without the Kyuubi on your side anymore, we have more than enough strength to burn you to the ground. Said. What the hell? Ao said. Are you sure you want to do that? Mifune said. Yes, we are. It's time the Namikaze line ends and Kumo deserves a Hyuga clan. This is not up for discussion, Onoki said. While Konoha has been relaxing and getting invaded, Kumo and Iwa have been growing our forces, training our shinobi. Maybe if the leaf had stronger shinobi, the third Hokage wouldn't have died in such a pathetic way. Sacrificing your life for a bunch of weak shinobi, he was a pathetic old fool and a waste of life. Said. Next thing he knew, his left arm was cut off from the elbow down. Everyone looked around for who did it. They didn't see anyone move, but then Naruto spoke up. You do not insult the legacy of the third Hokage in my presence. Consider me cutting off your arm, the first act of war. I'm leaving, this meeting is over, he said in a cold tone that made everyone shiver. He left in a swirl of blue flames and went back to his hotel room. Suna will always be on Konoha's side. We are also joining this war. Although with the way Naruto's feeling, I doubt we would be needed. Gaara said. Temari and Kankuro nodded. Kiri will stay out of this. We have just finished a civil war and cannot afford to join in another war at this time, Mei said, scratching her head. Hokage-sama, what do you have to say about this? Mifune asked. If you want a war, then a war it is, but trust me, that boy you just pissed off does not take threats lightly, and he has enough power to slaughter your forces himself. I guess it's time for the Flash to be reborn. Samui, let's go. Tsunade said calmly, and they left the meeting. They arrived at Naruto's room and he wasn't there. They opened the door and see Karen on the bed. Who are you? Samui asks coldly. She's Karen Uzumaki, one of the last full-blooded Uzumaki alive. I take it Naruto told you to come here. Tsunade said. Yeah, he said if I couldn't get to you during the Kage Summit mess, then I should come here to his hotel room. He's in the shower if you are looking for him, Karen said. Just then Naruto walks out in a towel, not even acknowledging the fact that Tsunade and Samui were in the room. He grabbed the scroll with his clothes in it, and went back to the bathroom. He came out 10 minutes later dressed in his usual Jonin uniform, but this time he wore a hari that looked like his father's, but it was black with silver flames on the bottom, and had the kanji for dragon on the back. He was about to leave when Tsunade spoke up. Naruto, where are you going? She asked. I need to meet up with some of my contacts. I need to see if they have any information on Kumo and EWA growing their forces. The other is working undercover in a certain village and left a note in a specific place for me to pick up with something important on it. He said he sounded just like Jiraiya. That's what Jiraiya always says when he has to leave. But I think you must know that Gaara and Suna are on our side, but Kiri is not. Mei said they can't afford to join a war. Tsunade said. Was she scratching her head when she said that? Naruto asked. Yes, why? Tsunade replies. That means she's on our side. She actually finished the rebuild 2 months after the war ended. Most of the fighting happened in a deserted part of Kiri. The rebels were stealing money from the Mizukage supporters. They stole so much that it would make me look broke, and you know how much money I have. Anyways, they have more shinobi than you think, less than us but more than Suna. He said. How do you know that? He said. I helped her rebuild and used my shadow clones to speed up the process. I placed a seal around the village that killed any spies, so word never got out until she was ready for it. He said and turned to leave. Naruto, wait, I need to. Naruto cut her off. Damn it, Granny, I need to go see my contacts. I'll see you back in Konoha in a week, he said and walked out of the room. Had he turned around, he would have noticed it was Samui, not Tsunade, who wanted to talk to him. A week later, Naruto just made it back to Konoha and headed straight to Tsunade's office, and he came through the window. Tsunade, put your tits away, we need to talk. Jiraiya, put your boner up, Naruto said seriously. They did what he said because he never calls them by their names. What is it? Tsunade asked. Kumo and Iwa have a third country joining them, Naruto said. Who is it? Jiraiya asked. Oto, and the person leading them is Orochimaru. I don't know how, but he is alive. Apparently Kumo and Iwa have been planning this war on us for a long time, and Orochimaru being how he has joined them. The good news is that Iron Country, Ame, Taki, Kusa, River Country, Barren County, Yugakure, Hyuga Country, have all closed their borders and have a kill-on-sight order for anybody not from their village during this war. So that means Kumo and Iwa would have to travel around those borders to Oto and attack from the north. Kumo could sail east and go south, but the only two options that way are if they head through Whirlpool borders, but Whirlpool is protected by whirlpools that can only be stopped by an Uzumaki, or they would destroy a thing that comes near them. The other option is if they head out far east and travel around Kiri. But Mei has set up units that will destroy any Kumo ship that sails past them. That's how Kiri will be helping us. I've dealt a blow to Orochimaru already. He was planning on reanimating a lot of past shinobi, including the real Madara Uchiha and the past Hokages. But my contact tracked down where he was keeping all of the needed DNA for the jutsu, and left one of my kunai there. I destroyed all the DNA and about 1,000 of his shinobi before I was noticed. He said. Damn, Naruto, your spies are even better than mine. I made a good choice in retiring, but you still haven't found a successor for the Toad contract. Jiraiya said. Actually, I have. My little firecracker, although she hasn't told anyone, has been feeding and taking care of little baby toads, keeping them safe. But anyway, what I did, plus the country shutting the borders, have put their plans back by 3 months at least, so we can use this time to have the shinobi train, Naruto said. That's good. Plus another thing you forgot was that now instead of us having to fight on 3 different sides, we only will be getting attacked from the north. This works in our favor big time, Tsunade said. Now anything else, he said. Actually, yeah, Pervy Sage, how was the threesome? Tsunade blushed and Jiraiya held up 2 thumbs with a huge smile on his face. Naruto left before Tsunade could punch him. It was late, so he went home. He entered the house and walked to the living room. Samui was on the couch. He went to talk to her, but a glare from her told him she was still mad. So he grabbed his clothes from his room, took a shower and went to sleep in a room at the other end of the hallway. Halfway through the night he felt Samui come into the room and get in bed with him. He didn't acknowledge her at all, he just laid there. "Can we talk?" Samui asked. "I don't know. I tried to talk to you earlier when I came home, yet you glared at me with hate in your eyes. As a matter of fact, why did you even come in here?" he asked. "I haven't seen you in a week and you didn't say goodnight or give me a hug or kiss, nothing. I even made dinner but you didn't go in the kitchen. I just want to be with you right now," she said. "I already ate, I'm not hungry. Since you're here, what do you want?" he asked. "I want to know about those girls and what's going on between you and the Mizukage. Why didn't you tell me about them?" she asked. "Samui, nothing happened with me and Yukata. The yelling and banging they heard was me trying to get out the closet and everything falling on us. With me seeing her breasts was an honest accident. During my travels with the daimyo we stayed in a palace with a noble family, and every door was the exact same. I walked in and she had just opened her dress and took off her mesh shirt and I saw them. As for the marriage contracts, I wasn't interested in them. I only met with the people to be respectful. I never told you because it wasn't important. I didn't want any of those girls. I wanted you. Hell, I've declined sex so many times from girls my age and older people started to think I didn't like girls. I love you, Samui. I wouldn't do anything that would hurt you," he said. "I know it's just that I'm insecure. I haven't seen you in almost 12 years. I just thought that those other girls would be able to take you away. I said you were mine and I don't want that to change. I want to marry you, have your kids, grow old together, and watch our kids become successful," she said. "We will do all that, you just have to trust me more, that's all I'm asking," he said. "I can do that," she said and started to kiss him. "You know, it's been almost 2 weeks since that shower and I want it again," she said as she reached her hand into his pants and started to stroke his dick. "Well, I don't have anything to do tomorrow. Are you saying you want to take a shower again?" he asked. "No, I'm really wet right now, I just want it in me," she said as she removed her t-shirt and panties and took off his boxers. She sat on his lap grinding into him. "Can I have it, please?" she asked and he nodded. Lemon warning: the video will end of this lemon, so if you are not interested in listening, please leave. Lemon. She lifted herself up and lined him up at her entrance before sinking down on his dick, moaning loudly from the feeling of it going inside. "Shit, I can't get over how big you are," she said and started raising herself up and down at a slow pace before picking up speed. He was sucking on her nipples and reached a hand down and started to rub her clit, getting a loud moan from her. He decided to join her by thrusting his hips upward every time she came down on him. "Shit, keep doing that, Naruto, it feels so good," she said, and began to thrust up into her at a fast pace, and she went up one more time but never came down. She just let him thrust up and down inside of her, while she started to rub her clit. She felt her orgasm coming and moaned loud. "Shit, I'm about to come, Naruto, don't stop, please don't stop," she said, and he thrusted even faster and harder, making her rub herself faster. "Shit, I'm coming," she yelled, and like a waterfall, all of her juices came squirting out of her onto his lap and the sheets she got off him and started to suck his dick, getting a moan from him. She was bobbing her head up and down fast, enjoying the taste of herself on him. After sucking for 5 minutes, she took him all the way down her throat, and she stuck her tongue out and licked his balls. She took him out her throat and was breathing heavy. Laid down on her back and lifted her legs back so her feet were near her head. "Fuck my pussy hard, Naruto," she said, and he just put his dick inside her. With one push he started slow but found his rhythm and picked up the pace by adding chakra to his hips. All you could hear was the sound of skin hitting skin. "Shit, I'm coming again," she yelled and squirted again, but the wetness only made him go harder and faster to her delight. Since he kept going, her orgasm didn't stop. She kept on squirting for 5 minutes. As he was getting close, she felt him twitch inside of her. She went through hand signs and touched her womb area. "Fuck, this feels so good, Samui," he said as he felt her insides getting tighter and tighter after every stroke. "Where do you want it, Samui?" he asked as he was about to come, and he knew it was going to be a lot. Shit, don't stop, Naruto. I want that cum inside me. I want to feel your warm cum inside my pussy. Shit, I'm about to come again," she said, and he went faster and harder to the point that her eyes rolled to the back of her head. He did a few more fast strokes before they both came at the same time. "Fuck," they both said as he came inside her and she squirted again. He pulled out of her and laid next to her. Lemon end. Samui-chan. He didn't get an answer. He looked at her and she was passed out. He chuckled at this and picked her up. He took her to their room and laid down on the bed. She cuddled to him, putting her head on his chest. He looked at her some more before falling asleep himself. And guys, this is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed. Well, until next time, peace.